It's take 7. Zach's here.
Hi, I'm Zach here.
Zach's here.
Hi, it's me, Zach from the club. You can check out my YouTube channel where I make history videos, apparently.
I would like to get that tattooed across my lower back.
Hi, it's Zach from the club.
Hi, this is Zach from the club. You may know me as Zach from the club.
Yeah. Hi, it's from the club. You may know me from the history videos I make on YouTube. Is a tramp stamp. Yeah.
This is our 1,000 subscriber special.
It is.
Don't you dare eat that pickle. Don't eat that pickle. You know how crunchy that pickle is. Everybody get quiet. This is our 1,000 subscriber special. And we really thought that it would be appropriate to bring the same energy we do in every other thing we do.
Pure chaos.
We thought that it would be fun to take all of the theories that we have made so far on the channel and put them onto one Glidus-style list, as you can see by this matrix right in front of us.
And notice the European Union that we said Glidus style so that we're not infringing on its copyright. Yes. So we have every theory ever presented on this channel, more or less, in this list. And we are going to put them based on how much we like them and how much we believe them. With a special guest who has only watched some of our videos, usually while intoxicated.
I have also just...
that also describes me.
I have watched some of the show. I have read the first 2 books back when I was 14. And I am friends with these 2, so I learn a lot by osmosis.
That's true.
When we're all in the car together, we'll just talk about Game of Thrones a lot.
Yeah.
Should I save that, like, our famous Game of Thrones ranting story for the live stream, or should I tell it now?
Oh, hold that one for the live stream. In much the same way, actually, as I know a lot about no longer canon Star Wars books from just hanging out around you. You want to take a moment to mourn?
No, Morn's from Star Trek.
No! Let's go!
I now have to learn Star Trek because my girlfriend is a Trekkie.
Oh, I understand the struggle.
Yeah.
I once had to watch the entirety of the Vampire Diaries.
I know
It's
I'm
shorter,
going to
but probably
enjoy
more
it.
miserable.
No, it's like a series and a half. It's a lot.
Really?
She has started me on Deep Space Nine, which I'm told is the best one.
Yes.
The problem with Star Trek is every time, especially you two, describe it like, okay, so you're going to have to get through the slog of the first 2 seasons.
Yeah, okay.
And there's like 30 episodes per season.
And every discussion always starts with, yeah, okay, alright, so I know that you're not really going to like the Space Pope storyline, but you do. It is important for the conclusion, I promise. You do need to watch it. You do need to watch the Mirror Universe episodes.
The Space Pope is important because there are, like, weird space angels and maybe weird space demons, although they could just be aliens, but you'll get into that later, but it's very entangled with the Pope storyline, which is crucial for your understanding.
None of it makes any sense, but it will make... But the nonsensicality won't hit as hard if you don't suffer like we did.
Yeah.
We have some beverages that are now... We have some juice beverages in front of us.
It's very blue.
This is cider. This is
cider.
Cider can be
This
non-alcoholic.
is cider, yes. This is the cider like you'll get at a fair.
Yes.
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 And what is our drinking game today?
Are we
Non-alcoholic drinking game.
If ever we disagree, we drink.
If ever we disagree, we drink. There it is. There it shall be. I hope everyone's ready because we're going to get right into it. Oh my god, Zach, will you please plug in my computer?
Oh no!
Oh no! Oh no! Please do it fast!
Where is it at?
It's over here!
Yes.
Oh no! What a disaster! Thank you! We got down to 4%!
4%.
What? How long have we been recording so far? Can I swear yet?
No! You cannot! You have to wait like another 2 minutes!
That's okay. Our first theory, I don't think will inspire a lot of swearing.
What is our first theory?
Sorella Greyjoy.
Oh my god!
Theory.
Let's go.
Okay, so you guys have to give like a quick, quick rundown.
That's why you're here.
Oh,
so that we have an excuse to explain them.
Yes.
Sorella Greyjoy.
This is a Tom invention.
Yes. So you want to do it that way? Like I'll take point on mine, you take point on it, but we can we'll hop in.
Or would it be funnier if I explained your theory so you can be upset about it?
Oh, you're right. That would be funnier.
Yeah.
Please go ahead.
And then vice versa.
Yeah.
So Sorella Greyjoy is the idea that Sorella, who is Alaras, is so
okay, wait. First, is Sorella Greyjoy the hot lesbian older sister of Theon?
That's
Unrelated Greyjoy.
Okay.
And she's not lesbian in the books. She has had intercourse with a dude. We're very well aware of it. George R. Martin wrote about this.
I prefer Pan Asha Greyjoy.
I
come down on Pan Asha
agree.
Greyjoy and Pan Oberyn Martell.
I agree with these interpretations. Asha and Oberyn are Pan icons.
Yes.
Okay.
They are my favorite characters in the series.
Legitimately, yeah.
She has one of the only healthy sex scenes in the entire
One of the
series.
only healthiest sex scenes, and also
in which she is cheating on her fiance, to be fair.
But that was an arranged marriage. But like, she also gives probably the most like legitimately good political speech in the entire franchise. She understands how to play a crowd and how to like really get people angry. When she comes with her gifts and it's all just the nastiest, stupidest things to show how pointless the war is.
Excuse me, they're pronounced gifs.
Not commenting on this.
You continue.
But, yeah, lovely character. But this is actually closer to Oberyn because Sorella is one of the Sand Snakes.
One of Oberyn's bastard children.
And she is famous because only men can get into the Citadel to be Maesters. She has put on a very clever disguise where she is fairly androgynous and changed her name to Alaras, which is totally not Sorella backwards, to sneak in there, putting her in Old Town, where the story is going to be really important soon because that's where Euron Greyjoy is going. We'll get back to that.
Yeah, now,
well, actually, we'll jump a little bit across. You're timing me out.
My momentary pause. None of that was this theory. That was a different theory that this theory is based on. Continue.
Oh, if somebody says I'm not sold on the Sorella's Alaras theory, I want to meet this person. Wait, if I met somebody, a fine woman named Mott, who had all the same characteristics as my friend Tom, I have questions.
Tobo in his eye. Tobo Mott. Please continue.
Yes.
This is theory 0.
This is theory 1. Well, it's not even theory 1 yet. The idea is Euron Greyjoy says when the Kraken weds a dragon, all hell will break loose. Something like that.
Some shit.
You killed my cousin back in '94. You know what? Kendrick Lamar. But like, yeah, he says that when the Kraken weds the dragon, that's what his whole prophecy thing, and people think he's going to marry Daenerys. This theory is that Alaras Sorella is not actually the son of Oberyn Martell. It is the firstborn child of Rhaegar and Elia Martell. What's her name?
Rhaenys.
Rhaena or something.
I think it's Rhaenys.
It doesn't really matter. It's their daughter.
Yeah.
That both the children were whisked away by Varys.
And Oberyn Martell snatched her up and adopted her.
Yes.
Yeah.
That means that she has Targaryen, blood. Could potentially wed Euron, who is about to be in Old Town, and that's the Kraken wedding the dragon is Sorella, not Dany. And timeline-wise, that resolves that whole plot line, if that's where the plot is going, much quicker. So George R. R. Martin, if you're struggling to finish, take notes.
Yeah. This is all yours.
Yeah.
Like, I've already identified the breadcrumbs. You can just claim that they were always there.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. You can finish the book with our channel, George.
Yeah, got you, man.
So that's the theory. I have some problems with it.
There's a few.
There's quite a few problems, actually. Namely that, like, Sorella looks like Oberyn Martell.
Sorella, well,
all the Sand Snakes are said to look a lot like Oberyn.
A lot like Oberyn Martell. And Sorella is said quite explicitly. What I posit as a cover story is that Sorella is the child of Oberyn Martell and the Summer Islander, who have quite dark skin. And Sorella is described by some characters as having the dark skin of the Summer Islanders, which would make her definitely not a Targaryen, because Targaryens are famous for being really pale.
Really, really pale.
Really pale, yeah. However, I posit that we see Sorella from two perspectives. Pate, who is an idiot, and Sam, who is Sam. Pate describes her as being dark-skinned, but Sam does not. He describes her as having nut brown skin, which a lot of Dornish people are described as, including her uncle Oberyn.
Although nut brown is a phrase that George R. R. Martin uses a lot.
Well, it's fine. It's fine. So I posit that it is not the case that Sorella looks like a Summer Islander, but that Pate is just racist.
Yes, the racist Pate theory.
Yeah, this could be renamed the racist Pate theory.
Okay, I'm down with the racist Pate theory.
Yeah, okay, there it is.
However, I am. Hold on. I don't like the rest of the theory because it's Jon Snow that Euron's going to marry to cause the crash.
Hold on, writing down my Satin equals Euron theory.
Satin equals Euron! Oh my god, that's so stupid! Could the timeline work?
No way.
No way! Could the timeline work? Can we make the timeline work so that Satin is Euron? Satin is Victorian.
The timeline definitely doesn't work out that way.
Okay, Satin is being controlled by Euron in the same way that the Dusky Woman is.
That's more plausible.
Boom.
That's more
plausible. There it is.
There we go.
Boom. There it is. There's the theory.
Okay.
Satin.
Wait, did my shitpost?
Yeah.
It's no more of a shitpost than this is.
You can't meme the theory with us starting to just connect dots on the wall, right? We'll go full Texas sharpshooter on something. You say it, we'll find the evidence retroactively.
Some people say
Pepe Sylvia. I got Pepe Sylvia, man.
Some people say with enough evidence you can draw any conclusion. I prefer with enough evidence all things are possible.
And first of all, with Euron, all things are possible.
Yeah, and
So jot that down.
With our time traveling Bran theory, with the Branos theory that we've been teasing for 8 months, that it is not just possible but necessary.
Yes.
Zach, where are we putting Sorella Greyjoy?
This one is probably just under believable for me, and I believe it. And it's probably I do see.
It's so much fun.
You like it a lot. I have problems with parentage theories where I can't see the point. If somebody's parentage isn't what we think, it's got to have a really strong point in my opinion. But I do like it because it would be an interesting twist.
Also, she would be Oberyn's niece, right?
She would be Oberyn. So
yeah, there's a family resemblance.
Yeah,
It's possible. You can look more like your aunt or uncle.
Right, it's not just possible, but extremely well precedented in the series.
Yeah.
John is Ned's nephew, and it looks very much like Ned.
Yeah.
Right. That tracks.
I look a lot like my mother's younger sister.
Yeah.
It's true. What if we put this one almost perfectly in the middle and we use this as the benchmark?
You want to use Sorella Greyjoy?
Is this more or less believable?
Sorella Greyjoy is the 0 point for belief.
I'm gonna put it right
the
here.
Mendoza line, yeah.
Right above I like it. Right above the line for I like it.
Right above the line for I like it, perfectly in the middle of believability.
Fine. Very respectable.
And everything we measure from here will be measured on the benchmark of Sorella Greyjoy.
we measure on the Sorella scale.
Okay.
Okay. So I think this one is about 2.5 Sorellas.
Yeah. And of course it's logarithmic. It's harder to get to get further away.
This one is a negative Sorella or 1 Alaras.
This is 1 Greyjoy. This is 1 Rainey's.
So the next one is also a Tom theory. It's one that I didn't give a lot of credit to at first, but I'm coming around to now. And that's Craster Targaryen.
Oh my god.
So you remember Craster?
Is that
Sure.
your
Who
Craster?
the fuck is Craster?
Craster's the guy who lives beyond the wall and marries his daughters.
Oh yeah, him. Yeah.
That's what that song, like, Fathers Be Good to Your Daughters, is about.
No. Incorrect. Don't do that.
Do we have to cut that? It's fine. It's fine. It's fine. It's fine. It's
fine.
fine. We know who Craster is. It's fine.
I think people who watch a Song of Ice and Fire content are desensitized to an incest.
Yeah, we're all on the up and up with the incest jokes around here.
Yes.
You kind of have to be.
Yeah, it's a free space.
Yes, it's the free space on your bingo card. Zach, Craster Targaryen.
Craster Targaryen is an interesting theory that Craster, whose father, I believe, was a Night's Watch Ranger, was Bloodraven, who was a Night Watch Ranger, and is also the person helping Bran train in that cave, and that would make Craster a Targaryen, which means that all of his children have Targaryen blood, which means the baby that Mel has is actually the baby she wanted. She saw the baby swap coming, or wanted it, because they swap out Mance's baby for Gilly's baby.
Yes.
But that baby could have dragon blood if Gilly, the product of years of Targaryen incest, gave birth to Gilly with another Targaryen. That would mean that's got pretty strong Targaryen blood to burn and use for magic. So that's an interesting theory, and I've kind of come around to it a little bit. I didn't give a lot of credence back then, but there's no reason Bloodraven couldn't be Craster's father.
Yeah.
The timeline works. He was a ranger of the Night's Watch. If you said which ranger was most likely to go out and sleep with wildlings, Bloodraven is famous for sleeping around.
Right, he's like, I don't know, it's...
Specifically with his sister.
Yeah.
Who also was famous for sleeping around. Depending on how you interpret. We don't have good sources for that period.
Yes.
We have people's recollections. It's entirely like people... It's hard to tell whether Bittersteel was just bitter.
Or something more interesting.
Or whether there was a love triangle where she really did want both of them, and she really were fighting over her.
Like, was Bittersteel just an asshole?
Or did he have just cause to believe she likes me better than you, et cetera, political considerations? We don't know, because we don't have a good source for the first Blackfire Rebellion. Everything we've heard about it is from before or after. And before is useless because it hasn't happened yet. And after has political propaganda in it.
And we don't have enough of the Dunk and Egg books to get a good snapshot of it.
And
that's all we have, right?
And the war is well and finished, and the victory propaganda is all set in,
yes.
right?
Yep.
Of course, if the Blackfires won, they were going to be seen as the heroic and awesome ones who did all the right things, but they lost.
So they were seen as a bunch of violent, inbred bastard thugs.
Exactly.
A bunch of violent bastards who caused violence for no good reason and got nothing out of it except a bunch of dead people.
That was one of the main plot points of the second Dunk and Egg book. Dunk and Egg meet an old knight who used to be a lord, but he got stripped of all his lands and holdings because he supported the Blackfires. And Egg goes, "You supported a traitor." And he goes, "Kid, if they had won, you would be the traitor."
Yeah.
And that is through the eyes of Dunk, who is 16, and Egg, who is 12, is it's a really interesting snapshot into that kind of propaganda cross, the place where propaganda and ethics cross.
Yeah. When you fight a conflict that morally gray, it really comes down to which side you empathize with more.
Yeah. The king who bore the sword and all that.
Yeah.
And there was counter propaganda going on before the war that said that, was it Aenys that he fought against? Whoever
was it Darien the Good?
I don't remember.
I think it was Darien the Good against Daemon Blackfire. But.
Okay, there were rumors circulating that he wasn't legitimate anyway.
Yeah.
That he was a bastard sitting the throne, not legitimized, so they had equal claim to the throne.
And Blackfire, Daemon Blackfire was Targaryen on both sides. Mm-hmm. He was a bastard of Targaryen incest, just not the married kind. Granted, if Darren was not the correct king either, he still would have been a bastard of Targaryen incest. There was a lot of this going on at the time.
Yes. It's one of their things.
Yeah. So even if you buy the other person's argument, they're equally Targaryen.
Circling back around to Craster, one of the thing that set me on this path, right, is Craster is Craster's baby, right?
Yeah.
Val says to Jon, she knows which baby is which, and Jon says, but she let the baby swap happen. Why would she let the baby swap? Jon asks this question, why would she let the baby swap happen if she knew which babies we were swapping? And Val replies, because it suited her. Fire is a fickle thing. So that's very strange.
Yeah.
So we now have to ask the question.
Actually, we hear multiple times from Mel that fire is not a fickle thing. He very specifically wants king's blood.
Yes, fire loves that kind of thing. So why, one asks, does Mel want that baby? Does Mel want Gilly's baby at the wall, if not for king's blood purposes?
Yeah.
I actually have thought since of counter arguments to this.
Really, that's funny.
Yes. I now like it less. A reason that Mel might want the baby is because that baby was like marked for food for the others.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
She needs to understand what the others get out of that baby.
Could that be a learning opportunity? Could that be bait
Could
for
it be
the others?
Could it be that because it was bait for the others, it actually is more magically potent? And there's other stuff about Azor High, R'hllor, stuff like that.
Yeah.
The others that we don't understand that makes Craster's incest babies more potent sacrifices?
So I don't know, but that does muddy the waters. I
agree.
I believe it less than I did.
I believe it probably the exact same amount that you do, but I like it better than I did when you first pitched it. So I think I like this more than Sorella Greyjoy, and I believe it a tiny bit more.
So what do you think of like in here?
That's good. That's a good spot
there?
for it. Yeah.
There it is.
All right.
All right. Next, it's my first theory ever submitted to the channel. It's the membership theory.
Oh my god.
They're our first video to ever pop off.
Oh no.
And you have to explain it.
I think you mean get to. The theory posits in brief that there are strange and arguably prophetic foreshadowing surrounding people's dicks. This centers around the phrase spoken by Marwyn, prophecy will bite your prick off every time.
Yes. Also the theme of the last two God of War games.
Oh, fantastic!
Yeah. And a lot of mythology.
Yeah.
Marwyn is one of the weird maesters at the Citadel.
Possibly the weirdest. Qyburn's the only one really in contention.
Qyburn, yep. Marwyn is on his way to visit Daenerys, and through some very funny foreshadowing, very funny lines that you use as foreshadowing, you say that he will literally get his dick bit off by a dragon. Which is to say, he will get his lower body bitten, and then he'll be flame broiled by a dragon.
Yes.
Which I think is actually fairly likely, and I think that after you pitched it to me, that actually did seem like foreshadowing of that event. Furthermore, we started talking about Tormund Giantsbane,
Yes.
who also seems to have a bear bit off my dick imagery. He talks about it all the time.
He talks about how his dick used to be twice as long, and then part of it got bitten off.
Bitten off by a bear.
Which is a lie.
And we know that there is at least one undead bear fucking around in the north.
Yeah, for sure.
So, and we know that Tormund dies in the show.
No, he
Does
lives
he
in
die in the
the
show?
show.
He lives.
They can't kill Tormund. He's the only character they knew how to write in the end.
He almost died. He almost died at Hardhome.
That's true.
So, it seems entirely reasonable to suppose that that's foreshadowing that people who talk about their dicks getting eaten are going to have their dicks eaten.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
Who else talks
I thought
about
of another one.
Who gets their dick eaten?
How would you like to die, Half-Man? Oh, no! When asked, how would you like to die, Half-Man?
Drunk, with the whore's lips around my cock.
Drunk at the age of 80, with a belly full of wine and a girl's mouth around my cock.
Yep.
Yep, he sure does. That isn't an unlikely end for Tyrion either. There's gonna be zombies around. Nom nom.
Yeah.
Oh no. Oh no, Zach, no! He's got my favorite dick in the series.
It's well to do a dick ranking.
Do a dick ranking. No, we're gonna have to see where our members stand.
We're gonna have to see.
Stand aside, lightsaber duels.
So
$20 Patreon tier.
Hello, I'd like to announce our OnlyFans.
we do cock ratings, but for fictional characters.
The membership theory. The theory on which our channel is based, at least in part.
But we still call our subscribers the membership.
We sure do.
We probably always will.
Yep, we have a channel in the Discord called the Gamership.
Yeah.
Which you can join, by the way, at the link in the description.
Yeah, you can.
Yes. Join the Discord.
Correct. You should do that.
It's fun. It's stupid.
So
I am there very infrequently, mostly threatening Tom and/or Zach's life.
very often. So
Disney, Star Wars, Disney, Star Wars, Disney, Star Wars.
So where are we putting the membership on this?
Oh God, I don't know. I have to put it against the top, against the ceiling, right? It has to be all the way up on the I like it scale.
Yeah, because
Yes.
it would be thematically appropriate, and it's very like George R. R. Martin.
Yes.
I'm not fully sold on it. It's my own theory. I'm not fully sold on it.
I'd put it, just go to Sorella and take it all the way
You
north.
think like right up? I think right. Actually, I think like right up there.
I believe it more than I disbelieve it. But
I'd put it pretty close to the Sorella line.
You think here?
I think that's fine.
Yeah, right about there.
Yeah, I'm not surprised the second it doesn't happen, but like, it's a juicy like story element, right?
Yeah.
To have somebody say something that is so ironic later.
I mean, Marwyn talks about getting your dick bit off in like 3% of his total lines.
That's true.
In 3% of his total words.
Yeah.
So is Tormund.
Tormund, who has 5 times as many lines, says an equal percentage of dick getting bit off commentary.
They were talking about the strangest bears wandering through the wilderness that winter.
I mean, when you live up north and you're always under 8 layers of clothing, you gotta find your jokes where you get them.
He describes that in detail.
Yeah. Yes.
It's like a 5-page description.
He at one point compares his member to a book, which is true because he's written a book's length amount about his member.
If I had a goose quill and a Potter Maester's ink, I could say that my member was as long and thick as my arm. Wouldn't make it so. It was my parents that made it so. Oh no! What do you think of that position?
I think that's
You
a
think that's
perfect
good?
placement for
it. Right there. Making sure that that's not off the screen. There it is. Perfect. Perfect.
Next up, we have the Plumber theory.
Mm-hmm.
This is a Tom theory, so I can explain it.
I love this one.
We're actually mentioning this one earlier. It's
Yes.
one that we got some evidence against recently, which was this idea is Tyrion knows the drainage system of Casterly Rock quite well, and Casterly Rock is just like a castle built into a rock, pretty much. And the idea was he would cause a flood in there of their sewage system. People would not be able to get out because there's very few ways out that couldn't be blocked by the floodwater or something, or it could happen in the middle and like rise up really quick if it's like rushing out, stuff like that. But basically, that everybody in Casterly Rock would drown in their own piss and shit in a disgusting horror story. That's very George R. R. Martin.
It's like it really fits, dude. It's a it parallels thematically to the Reigns of Castamere very well.
It's literally what happened to the Rains, but grosser.
Yes, but disgusting.
Yeah.
And Tyrion knows the drains and cisterns. He was in the Bad Dragon Show. He's referred to as the most highborn plumber.
Yeah, they kept that in the show.
It's in there. I mean,
When the show in the later seasons pays attention to the books, that's caused me to believe, okay, something that's something, right? That has to be notable later. Now, it could just be that it is exactly as it's shown in the show, and they just sneak in through the sewers. But it's kind of anticlimactic for storming one of the most impregnable castles in all of Westeros.
Yeah, and Tyrion be kind of evil. And that's
Yes.
kind of an evil thing to do.
Yeah. Show Tyrion is very sanitized and clean and still tries to be a good person. Book Tyrion's past that goody two-shoes shit.
I mean, I don't think he's I don't know, even with the book characterizations of Tyrion, I don't think he would kill everyone. I think that Tyrion's revenge is going to be something that leaves his enemies alive but broken and destroyed. Also, he designed most of the... Yeah. Well, did he... Can't remember. Did he kill his dad in the book?
Yes.
Okay, he did kill his dad.
He killed the shit out of his dad.
Yeah, so
Literally killed the shit out of him.
On the toilet.
Yep.
And in the end, Tywin Lannister did not, in fact, shit gold.
Yeah, which feels like evidence for his theory. There's so much, the Lannisters shit gold, Tywin shit's gold,
there was
stinking shit-filled city.
Awful smell that surrounded him. I don't know. Also, like, Book 5 Tyrion be kind of fucked up.
Oh,
He's kind of terrible.
This is true.
Yes, he becomes the very monster he never wanted to be.
Yeah.
But he's got his buddy with him.
Which one?
Which buddy?
Isn't Varys with him?
No.
Oh,
Varys helps him on his way.
And then murders his uncle. His favorite remaining uncle.
Oh, yeah.
It's, well,
Spoilers.
only.
Both of those things are true.
Weren't there more Lannisters running around?
There were a lot of Lannisters at one point.
They got cleaned out pretty.
Oh, during the
efficiently.
siege. During the siege,
Yep,
or
Tywin's dead.
Kevin's
dead. Cersei's the only one that's left.
And then there's also what?
Tyrek.
Well, he's a horse. Gerald was it, or who's the
Gerald Lannister.
the one who goes missing?
That's Tyrek, isn't it?
No. The one who is the Shrouded Lord.
Garyon. Uncle Garyon. Yeah, he's fucking off somewhere. Yeah. We assume we might see him, but at the very least, he's not like a major political player right now.
Yes.
And Jaime's alive somewhere, but Tyrion still loves Jaime.
But Jaime can't inherit.
Tyrion no longer loves Jaime.
No?
That's a show invention.
Yes. There's this... Oh, no! Oh!
Because they cut Tysha. Well, here's the funny thing. They didn't cut Tysha, they cut that scene. Because I was rewatching some Game of Thrones with my mom. They mentioned Tysha multiple times in seasons 1 through 3.
They have that really sensitive scene with Shay and Bronn in the tent.
Yeah, they have him upset that he has to marry Sansa, and he's like, I wish I could marry Shay. And Bronn says, well, what happened the first time you married a whore?
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay. A brief story of Tysha, right? Very brief. Tysha.
No, I do remember this.
Oh, you know.
Jaime fucked the
and Jaime and Tywin told Tyrion that she was a whore that Jaime hired.
Yeah.
That was a lie.
Yeah.
She wasn't.
She was exactly as she appeared to be, is I think exactly what Jaime says.
Yes. Which is horrifying.
Yeah.
We will actually have to revisit Tysha later in this theory video.
Yes, we will. So the Plumber theory. A truly dark end to Tyrion's whole business.
I love this theory. It's actually one of my the favorites we've ever done.
It's pretty good.
But as you said, there's a lot of evidence against it now.
Yes.
Also, I really like Tyrion.
So do I. He's great.
I like Tyrion, but his fall from grace would be one of the most compelling things I've ever read, and we're definitely the midst of that.
Yeah, he is on the downslope, and he could catch himself. He could, and it would be. I would find it equally compelling if he reconciles with his brother.
I find it more compelling because it's easy to continue that slide. Because he is one of the most dangerous minds in Westeros.
That's true.
And if he stops caring, that's terrifying. And that's really easy given everything that is been done to him.
I think that's the opposite, though. I think because we've gotten so much time to empathize with Tyrion, to see things from his point of view, to understand where he's coming from, watching him become irredeemable is going to be such a challenge as a reader to get to the point. It's like people who love Breaking Bad often say, when did you stop rooting for Walt? I want, when the books are done, for people to say, when did you stop rooting for Tyrion?
I stopped rooting for Walt in episode 1. I was rooting for Jesse the whole time.
That's fair.
Yeah,
Walt at no point was anything other than a piece of shit.
Science.
Every single time I rewatch Breaking Bad, I stop rooting for Walt at an earlier point, to the point that I'm also at episode 1. That's not everybody's first experience.
Yeah. Well, I enjoy Walt as a character. I never rooted for him because, like, his entire character arc is just him being shitty and petty.
It's
My guy do got cancer.
Yes, and he uses his cancer to be shittier and pettier.
You can be shitty and petty when you have cancer.
Yeah, you're about to be a little shitty and petty when you're
if
sick.
I'm not allowed to punch my dad, you're not allowed to be mad at Walter White.
When did I say you couldn't punch your dad? When did I ever take that position? You know that I believe all hands are equal opportunity.
Oh, yes.
We're 4 theories into 38 on this list, and we're debating whether it's okay to punch your dad.
Exactly. What are your thoughts?
I've only met your dad twice, but if he told me you punched him, I'd be like, yeah, I get it.
Okay, where am I going with this?
All the way up at the top, I think actually right underneath the membership theory. They occupy a similar space in my brain. Oh, but I believe it less. So
You believe it? You believe it less than the
because
membership?
you're right, because of the things George R. Martin has said about Castle Rock, not just about its design, but the fact that we'll see it from the perspective of more than one character. He said,
Now,
maybe.
Also, wasn't most of its current design done by Tyrion?
most of the drains and cisterns system.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, and like
I feel like
mostly
we tried to
think that he
prevent a
can't.
flood.
Yeah, I mostly think that it would be
But-
incredibly difficult to flood because Tyrion is fucking competent.
But knowing how to do it, being able to decide it, he would know how to do it.
He would, but I think. Hey, doesn't he have previous relations with an army of people covered in shit and dirt?
Yeah. Yeah.
That would also be a thematic drowning of them in shit.
Oh, his own mountain clansmen die.
I got it. I got it. You ready? Here you go. So the counter argument that we've had is from one of George Martin's recent blog posts that says that Casterly Rock is very much the same as it is widely depicted. It comes very high off the ground, and there's a lot of windows and arrow slits.
Yeah.
So that makes me think that it would be very difficult to flood.
Yes.
However, what if the water is actually toxic? For one reason or another, you actually can't stand in the water. If you stand in the water or in the room with the water for too long, it will actually kill you.
Well, or like it's a breathability thing. Like
Yes.
Once it starts to get up to your knees, the amount of breathable air is to the point where you need to get out of there fast, and you're slugging through running shit. Which, well, first of all, the amount of water it takes to drown you is a lot smaller than you think it is.
Yeah.
Especially when you're trying to go down stairs.
When you're trying to go downstairs, or like
On the other
moving
hand-
at all, if it's up to your ankles and moving at the speed of a dog, it's gonna knock you over.
Yeah. On the other hand, there is the problem of there is a maximum distance that you can pump water up. And also, shit does not flow up very well unless you blend it into a homogeneous soup.
I'm having the reaction I did the first time we talked about this theory.
Yeah. Do you want my
And
food, by
I
the
think
way?
it's... yeah.
Hold on, let me
I
finish this
I
pitch.
can't... Okay, first...
Yeah.
But the hydrodynamics, I think... I'm trying to remember.
You think the hydrodynamics wouldn't work? It's
No,
huge.
because
it's 2,100 feet tall.
Yes, and that's exactly why you can't pump water up that high. After a certain distance, you cannot pump it upwards. You would have to have something drawing it from the top, and even then, you run into the issue of that much vacuum trying to pull something over that distance. Eventually, it will just atomize.
What if they're magic pumps?
Is there a drinking fountain on top of the Empire State Building?
Probably, but it's run through several systems.
What an interesting question. Okay.
I think it's like literally every 8 floors there is a utility floor on skyscrapers, and each of those utility floors is where they run more water pumps up.
This is why we bring Zeb on the podcast.
Yes.
We finished the.
Don't quote me on the number of floors. I can't remember exactly, but it's a certain number of floors.
Broad strokes. I'm
Yes.
sure
Yes.
you're correct.
Yes, it is.
I think that's reasonable. However, George Martin doesn't know that is always something acceptable. It's always an acceptable counter-argument.
That's the problem that holds a lot of our theories
Yeah,
together.
like we're going to talk about rabies later. George Martin doesn't know all that much about rabies. Isn't acceptable. We can say that.
Yes.
So, if the water is toxic, right? If the water is for some reason, like you can't stand in the same room and breathe, out of, the scene might get more horrible because instead of drowning, you would see
Suffocate.
people flinging themselves out of the windows.
Yeah.
1,900 feet in the air.
Yes.
Suffocating them.
And as a person who has seen that live,
Yeah.
is nauseating.
Yeah.
It's nauseating.
Yes.
For some people, the falling to your death instead of dying from noxious fumes might be a preferable and sinking into shit. If you can get to a window and those are your two choices, that might be the preferable way to go out.
Like you might go full sky saw and you might just leap.
Yeah.
And on that very happy note, where am I putting this meme about shit?
A little to the left of membership theory, or maybe just put it right with the membership
right
theory.
here?
Just bundle them together. I think those are fine companions.
There it is. Zach, what do we got next?
Next is the sixth suitor.
Who are the
Okay.
first 5?
Well,
Well, I'm so glad you
this theory is built on top of another theory.
The theory is that the champions at the tourney at Ashford are a Targaryen, a Baratheon, a Lannister, a Harding, and hold on, sugar honey iced tea, and a Tyrell.
Yes.
Those happen to, except for the Harding, those happen to line up with the people that Sansa is betrothed to over the course of her life. She is betrothed to Joffrey Baratheon.
Then the Tyrell. Garland Tyrell?
Then Garland Tyrell. She is betrothed to Tyrion Lannister. She ends up marrying Tyrion Lannister.
But it's never consummated, so in the eyes of the faith, it's as if it never happened.
Many people suppose that she will entertain a relationship either with young Griff Targaryen or with Jon, that she will consider one of those matches.
And before that, she
Who
might
the fuck is Griff
consider
Targaryen?
young Griff.
Is that the one that might be a Blackfire? Or
Yeah.
Yes,
might be
I got 2 real fat books for you.
It's not a euphemism this time.
And many people think that, and she is currently betrothed to Peter is currently trying to get her betrothed to a Harding, so many people think that she will next either marry young Griff or marry Jon or entertain marriages for either of those.
Or Harold
Okay.
Harding also
Yes.
might be first.
Right.
Because I think the order most people do is
Yes.
Baratheon, Tyrell, Lannister, Harding, Targaryen.
Yes. So those are the 5. And I think that theory actually holds some water. Because it's really weird that there's a Harding just thrown in there, you know what I mean?
Yeah, the Hardings show up very infrequently. Yeah.
So, those are the first 5.
Okay.
Zach posits that she will not marry the 5th person. She will not end up with the 5th person.
Because that's actually what happens in the Ashford tourney also. She doesn't actually marry any of those 5.
Yes! She marries none of them.
Yes.
Zach posits that she will marry Dolores Edtullen.
Because
Pomegranates.
there's a lot of there's a lot of her having some amount of attraction towards people who are quite a bit older than her, which is also just a play on how kind of messed up the idea of marrying off your daughter to somebody with political power is, because there's almost always an age gap. But
True.
she has this odd crush on the Hound, and there is a lot of dog imagery with Ed as well.
Okay.
And including like a dog lying on top of him and peeing on him in the middle of the night, which is one of the funniest lines he has in the entire books. Gods and dogs alike.
They all piss on me.
Okay.
So yeah, that's the theory, is that she will end up marrying somebody unimportant and living a happy life away from all this royal marriage shenanigans. And Ed Tollett was the person I thought who could fit that the most. I think Sansa marries somebody unimportant who just treats her nice is a very good ending for her.
Yeah, that is an ending that she deserves. Like, she deserves to just go and be happy.
Just some dude who
Ed.
treats her nice.
Yeah,
that's
just
the bar that
someone-
needs to be
just-
cleared by the end of the book.
Just someone that makes her happy and she doesn't have to deal with a single royal thing ever again.
Yes.
And the part of this dude keeping her happy is anytime someone who looks like they even might be nobility is coming anywhere near, he just drags them out of sight and beats them to death.
I am going to use this phrase again later. When have you known George Martin to give anybody a happy ending?
Somebody has to get one, right? Like, okay.
Wait,
Here's the thing.
what'd you say?
Somebody has to get one, right? I guess not.
It's gotta be-
No, they could all die.
That's true.
That's the whole point of the brand theory.
That's true. That's entirely true.
They could all die. It could be a bad ending. If the show should have been a bad ending, it would have been a good ending if it was a bad ending.
That's true. Well, no, but
Well, that's what the spin-off is for, is to give us
That's
that
what
bad
the
ending.
spin-off is for.
That's where we're getting the job.
Also, I am being called in to plank again. Give me a second.
Okay, alright, we're planking.
Gotta do a plank.
We're planking
Yeah.
on stream.
Yep, I've also got to
Yep.
into the others.
Yep, okay.
Give me a second.
Are we all...
I'll use this for a union mandated bathroom.
Alright,
Oh my God.
Are we still recording as I plank?
Yes, well, of course we're still recording. What do you think, we're gonna stop? We're not editing this. Plank.
Alright.
Plank.
Alright, guys, I'm planking. Fuck! Hi, AJ. Hi, everyone. I'm planking. I'm also being recorded for a fucking game.
Hang on, I'll put books on your back.
If you put some on my back, I'm going
Put
to
books
stab.
on your back.
I am going to
Don't
stab.
worry, I'm helping.
Motherfucker.
Keep still.
Motherfucker.
There you go. Hang on, I got
Don't
more.
push shit out, you fucker.
More.
Fuck!
I'll put more stuff on your back. Here you go. This is making it better.
Someone stab AJ for me.
I'll put stuff on your back. There you go. Wait, I got more. I'll give you my jacket. Here you go. Here you go. You got it. Don't worry. You got it.
Somebody in the comments. Somebody in the comments, make sure you put a timestamp for the stabbing.
Yeah!
That's my third plank of the day.
That one costs for more. You had stuff on your back. Oh my God, Zach! I hope your mic picked up that dramatic crash.
This thing picks up every click of the tongue and breath I make.
Excuse me, I'm gonna go eat a piece of caramel corn.
Do it. You got everybody quiet?
Why are you torturing your listeners with misophonia?
Okay. So,
Yeah.
the 6-suitor theory.
Yeah. Zach, take a shot. I hate it.
Skull.
Bing.
Oh.
Oh no!
Oh no!
It didn't actually get wet.
It just got the stand.
Oh no! What a disaster! Hang on, there's more on the side.
Yeah.
I hope you guys enjoy the sound of us cleaning a Yeti.
Oh god, that's gonna sound awful.
Oh man. I'm drinking this. Zach, I don't think... I like it as far as it goes,
Yeah.
but I think that Ed Tollett at the end is kind of a stretch. I did mention that I think that Jorah might be a good
Jorah's a better one, but I also think The problem is if you're saying I think Ed Tollett's gonna bite it,
Yeah.
Jorah's also gonna bite it.
That's right. It's in this thing.
Dora also is distressingly older than Sansa, and I want somebody like Ed Tollett's not that much older that I don't think. It's hard to place an age on Ed.
Look, as long as it's not fucking Littlefinger.
As long as it's not Littlefinger, I agree.
I'm a bit confused. All right, Zach. It is your theory. I will leave it to you.
I kind of like it. You don't like it as much. I don't believe it. I like full on. I know this is a cope theory.
Now, see, I'm not gonna put it. I'm gonna put it like here. I'm gonna put it.
It wouldn't be
middle.
shocked if it happened.
Because, like, as with a lot of our theories, I think there's a really good chance of it being partially true.
Yeah.
I think every theory we're going to put on here, there's elements of it I agree with. I don't think anything here is just straight nonsense. I say looking at the Pacific Rim theory. So I think that's a fine spot for it.
So I'm gonna put it along the line. I'm actually gonna put it pretty well centered.
What's that?
Where are we on these?
Oh,
not
God.
very.
Oh my
What do
god.
we think of that?
Yeah, we're going to be.
Oh my god, we're almost on 6.
What do we think? What do we
We're
think of
almost
that?
on 6 of 38.
Alright, yeah.
There it is. We're putting it right there.
We're having fun. Well, these ones are really nostalgic, and we have a lot of updates to give. I think when we get to the ones we did literally days ago, we're not going to have much more to say about them.
Zach,
right?
I need you to stop hitting lines of copium. Like, I'm gonna spend so much time talking about my boy Laenor Valerion.
That's 28. So
Yeah.
we still have 10 after that one. Okay.
Okay, what's next?
We have Pacific Rim.
The
Okay.
Pacific.
So this is a Tom one.
Rim,
The idea is there's a bunch of giant statues and potential giant monsters in lore, and some of the giant monsters could come back. For example, there is a Kraken that might be summoned by Euron Greyjoy. The Titan of Bravos is potentially a giant, robot. If it's a giant statue, it's said to come alive when Bravos needs it and fight for it.
Yep. Big Frog.
There's a big frog.
Big Frog.
Big frog.
I love Big Frog.
So there's a lot of things that could be used as mechas to fight monsters.
Okay.
And that could be how the books end.
So I'm thinking over there.
Yes.
Yeah.
No, you need to bump that
You
north
think it
a
should
bit
be
more.
higher up there?
I don't think anybody genuinely believes this one. I do.
I do. Look, it's going to be a late series switch from low fantasy, which is slowly beginning higher and higher as it goes on.
To science fiction by the end. Yeah.
Well, not necessarily. To fantasy kaiju.
Fantasy kaiju. Yeah, that's possible.
It slowly becomes high fantasy kaiju in the last act of the series.
I mean, the series basically starts off as Pokemon, right?
Yeah. They do get their
They get their Pokemon at the beginning. When
they get their starter. They don't really get any more.
Right, they get
They
Diabolos
just-
and Danny
Dragonite.
gets 3 Charmanders.
Yeah.
And instead of trying to catch more, they just focus real hard on training them.
Yeah, they do what I did my first run through, is I just train up my Totodile.
Eventually you get to the grass gym, and you just use your one normal attack
Yeah.
and spam that until they're dead.
Yeah, you just use the tackle you never took off, and you just they just can't hit you.
Yeah. Like it's easy.
I'm putting it in the top left. I think seems reasonable. What do you think?
I'll push that closer to the center.
It's great. No, it's not believable. It's great, and I would not complain for a second if it happened.
Now hold on. I think we do need
Okay.
to take it a little bit off of the top left corner.
Because the Titan of Bravos coming alive could
It's
happen.
actually reasonably likely. And
I don't know if reasonably likely, but I wouldn't be so shocked.
well,
if it
I mean, they keep on fucking talking about it. If it doesn't, I'm gonna be kind of mad. They keep on fucking talking. If it doesn't do something, I'm gonna be pissed about it.
Chekhov's Jaeger.
It's
It could be.
yeah.
It could be a clever reverse setup where it's the first thing to fall when the city is domed and it doesn't descend.
Zeb, we're disagreeing. I have to put it in the top left. I'm sorry.
Skull.
Oh god, why would you ever drink straight gin?
I don't know. What is wrong with you?
Gin.
Straight what?
Juice.
That's corn juice, Zach.
Sit down, gin and juice.
Lay back. Got my mind.
This is why you need the grapefruit juice.
I'm moving it a little off of the top left corner. Right? It does belong up there.
Yeah.
But we have to contend with the Titan of Bravos, number one.
Yeah.
And we have to contend with the fact that a lot of crazy motherfuckers think that Storm's End is a nuclear reactor.
And there's not
zero evidence for that.
there is some amount of evidence.
My boy Lucifer means Lightbringer, my boy David Lightbringer.
Yeah.
There's not no evidence for it.
There's certainly can't say it is without evidence.
I'm going to move it right there, so we do have room in the top left for another theory if we feel that one belongs all the way in the corner.
That's fair. We might say that. Because there might be something we love, but don't believe fully. Next up is the Broken Fray.
I hate this.
What is the
hate
broken?
this, and it's also totally going to happen.
The Broken Fray theory. He's right. It's basically confirmed. This one, oh my god. There are characters currently in Winterfell called Big Walder and Little Walder.
Mm-hmm.
Is it Little Walder who died, Zach?
I forget, but yeah, one of the Walders is dead.
I believe Little Walder is dead. Zach posits that Little Walder will be raised. It could be either of them, really.
The dead Walder will be raised.
Yes. One of the Walders will be raised from the dead.
As a white or as a...
As a white.
As a white. And he will be referred to...
Not referred to...
By the fandom.
But by the fandom as...
As Walder White.
I don't like it.
It's bad. Yeah, I mean... But
all the way south.
Like, George Martin is such a huge Breaking Bad fan.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how it couldn't be the case.
Also, it's perfectly thematically appropriate, because the person who's most likely to have killed that one Walder is the other Walder.
Yes.
For succession purposes.
And a fantastic scene, right as winter is truly falling, could be from maybe the epilogue of The Winds of Winter is Little Walder seeing Big Walder raise and being torn apart.
Yeah, he is he's rewarded for his own kinslaying by being ripped apart by the zombie of his cousin who he killed.
Zach, I'm putting it there. What do you think of that?
All the way south.
I like it, but I think it can go up a little.
You like it up here?
That's fine.
I hate it. I gotta tell you how much I hate it.
Yeah, no, that's gotta go a bit lower. It's gotta go a bit lower.
I only hate it because I didn't come up with it. I only hate it because it's not my joke. There you go. It's right there. I hate it and you, but there it is. Like, it's kind of the case, right?
Is there another plate?
There's always more up there.
Just...
Is there any more ginger ale by chance?
That was the last ginger ale.
Dang!
Second person to ask.
No!
I can get more in between recordings. When we finish this one at 3 a.m.
We finish this one 3 hours from now.
Yes.
Okay.
Next is Snowed In.
Oh, I love Snowed In.
This is also one of my favorites.
What is snowed in?
Snowed In is the theory that once winter has come, resources are going to start to run scarce in Castle Black and other parts of the Wall. And this is specifically, which tower is it? The
Night Fort.
The Night Fort. In the Night Fort is where the famous story of the Rat Cook is from. And Ed Tollett a lot talks about eating people. He makes a lot of jokes about cannibalism. Or references to it.
I've been rereading A Storm of Swords, and that one scene where they burn that ranger at Craster's Keep, and he's like, if I had a bit of applesauce, I'd definitely go for it. Nothing like a bit of crackling with some applesauce. It's so, like he talks about eating people all the time.
The idea is Ed's going to be put in charge of the Night Fort, and they're going to run out of food. They are going to start resorting to cannibalism, and they might even form this weird, fucked up kind of cult. Because there's a face in the walls or something like that.
There's a face in the fucking door that is definitely magic. It is unambiguously magic. Everyone knows that it's magic.
Is it one of the tree faces?
It is a carved weirwood door that you need to speak your Night's Watch oath to get through. It'll open for you automatically. Which is weird.
It was weird, yeah.
It's just one of those weird bits of unambiguous magic.
Yes.
Yes. Of which there are many in Song of Ice and Fire, and that's one of the more prominent.
Yep.
Like, nobody can dispute this is magic elements.
Yep. Either it's magic or the tree is, like, literally alive. Right. It's literally a sentient tree. Right. And I posit it's gonna go full Lord of the Flies down there when they get fucking buried under 22 feet of snow.
Relatable.
And importantly, they don't have enough food. They make that very clear. That's like half the plot of A Dance with Dragons is the Night's Watch does not have enough food.
Yeah.
They do not have enough
And with winter
food
coming and a war brewing beneath them, there's no way in hell it's getting there.
Jon made a plan to get more food, but Jon is dead. He got stabbed. So I think that Cult Under the Night Fort.
I like this theory quite a bit, and I do believe it also.
You think top left? You think all the way up there?
Not all the way up there, but decently in both directions.
What do you think of up there?
I'd say take it a 45 up about midway.
Taking a 45?
Yeah.
What are you thinking, like, here? Meh?
They're about
Up a little more to the right, and then a tiny bit up.
Meh?
That's good.
There we go.
Yeah, I'd say
There it is. I like that. I think it's just a solid theory. It's
just
also
solid.
very scary.
Did Jon put any of those wheels in motion before he got?
He did. He secured a loan, but a loan is not food. He secured a loan with which he intended to buy food, and a lot of his thoughts after securing that are, man, it sure is gonna suck when it comes time to pay the piper for this loan.
Loans are also taking out people.
Yes, and he's dead. And by the time all the chaos is done by the coup at the Night Fort, the coup at Castle Black, rather, that loan might not be worth much. You know,
They might not honor it.
They like in a grotesque scene, they might get the gold as the snow is falling and be down there with the gold. Actually, that's very George Martin now I think on it. They might be buried under the Night Fort with like 150,000 gold dragons, and be thinking about eating the gold. It actually does seem very much like it.
With a raven having gone to whoever they were going to buy food from.
Yep.
Quentin Tarantino's Reservoir Direwolves.
Reservoir.
They have the money and none of them are making it out alive.
No. All right, Zach. What's next?
Next is The Two Queens. This is a historical parallels thing. And because of that, it's basically just true. But there's an extrapolation on top of
Yes.
it. That is yet to be demonstrated. The idea here is... oh god, are you watching House of the Dragon? Okay, well good.
It's really good. You should watch
Because I'm not to spoil the entire thing, and that's the warning to people in the audience. You might want to skim ahead until we're talking about a different theory.
Yep.
Because I'm going to spoil the whole damn show.
Yep.
So, in Fire and Blood, there's a great war between the Targaryens called the Dance of Dragons that ends up with most of those people being dead. So, the idea is that there's parallels between Cersei and Alicent Hightower. So Alicent, one of her children falls from a great height, and another is poisoned. And you can make this argument for Cersei. 2 of her kids are poisoned in the show, and one of them falls from a great height. In the extrapolation, is that Cersei's story will end like Alicent's. Locked away in a tower with nothing to do but mourn.
still alive. Still, like, and that is the worst hell I can imagine for Cersei Lannister, being alive after her kids.
Yeah. Oh yes. Yes. Being forced to live with the fact that she contributed to the death of her children,
Directly caused.
which is the second, the first of two Valonqars of Mercy kill theories that are on this list.
Now I think on it, those two are very compatible, aren't they?
Yeah. Actually, I said when I made that theory, it was a sequel to the Two Queens theory. I view it as a way to add some more context to it. And it uses the same exact arguments. It takes things that happen in Fire and Blood as evidence towards a future outcome for Cersei. So I don't have a ton to say about this theory other than I fully believe it. There's no real reason not to believe it, and I like it a lot. So I think this one can definitely reach that top right echelon area.
Yeah, right. It's supported by the show. It's supported by Fire and Blood. I think it's good. I don't think I believe it quite a bit, but I don't. I'm happy with it. There-ish.
Yeah.
Sure. If that works for you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't feel, none of us feel too strongly about it. I'm just like, yeah, probably.
Yeah, that just seemed, that seems correct.
I think it's one of the.
South, honestly.
I think it pushes me up a little bit. I think it's one of the best. If we're going for it's gonna happen, I think it's one of the most likely to happen theories.
Yeah, that's why it's over there. But for the I like it part, it's just I don't have.
I like it much better if Cersei gets drowned in her own shit.
Yeah.
It's true. I do like that.
I'll put it, all the way on the right, somewhere in the middle. That works.
I agree.
I can't remember who the fuck ends up on the throne at the end of the dance.
At the end of the dance?
Yeah.
Spoilers. That would be Aegon.
Are you watching House of
Which
Dragons?
one?
Not yet.
The third one. Aegon.
There's two Aegons in play with a claim on the throne. If I remember correctly, right?
The baby one.
That witch was pretty sandy.
Oh, I'm glad.
My brother's making a cameo appearance.
You're on camera.
Oh shit.
You're not on camera. You're on microphone camera.
Shit.
So,
what are your thoughts on the idea that that Ed Tollett will get snowed in at the Night Fort and eat Shireen?
or just people in general?
I mean, eating people's a viable strategy, so.
He talks about it a lot in the books.
He does talk about it a lot.
Yeah, but then everyone's gonna end up with fucking mad cow disease.
Now remember,
They get the
George
shits.
Martin doesn't need to know that.
George Martin probably does not know much biology.
I think you are underestimating George R.R. Martin.
It's possible.
I think Evil Santa would totally have.
Evil Santa.
Have you guys not heard that nickname from him before?
It's been a hot minute.
Yeah.
Okay, let's move on to the next theory.
Yeah.
We're done with the two queens. It's time for the faceless woman theory.
What is this?
I thought we agreed.
The Grand Horthern
We were
conspiracy.
calling this the Grand Horthern Conspiracy. This posits that there's a grand conspiracy between all of the brothels in the world. Because a lot of pertinent information is shared within brothels, and a lot of people go missing, and important information is exchanged.
Yeah. And there's historical people being killed by people they were, paying to have sex with.
Yeah.
There's noted points in history where somebody is betrayed by their whore, pretty much.
Yeah, that's why you don't have a regular whore. You just have a girlfriend or a mistress. Because once you add the currency exchange to this side relationship,
there's a higher bidder waiting out there. Exactly.
Yeah.
But this posits, and it also taps on some Bravosi connections to Westeros's brothel specifically through Littlefinger and other aspects.
And specifically through Taisha.
Taisha is an interesting side note there. There's also a god of tits and wine.
Tyrion.
Well, Tyrion talks about the Summer Islands worships the god of tits and wine, right?
Yeah.
And who is the person who runs the brothel in King's Landing?
Shataya.
Where's she from?
Summer Islands. That is true. That's not wrong.
So the idea is, what if the god of tits and wine isn't this sweet, awesome god who wants to party all the time? What if it's like a Slanesh-esque god of temptation? For those of you who play Warhammer 40k.
And so the base level theory is that there is some sort of coordination between the brothels and the world.
Possibly with the Faceless men.
Yes, possibly with the Faceless men, possibly with the Maesters. You can
Possibly-
you can tie them together in a bunch of
Possibly with the bank,
Yep.
Bravos Iron Bank.
Yep.
Blackmail is worth a lot of money.
Sure is.
I feel like it's more going to be the Faceless Men and the Bravos Bank, and not
Sure.
as likely to be the Maesters.
They blush quite a bit.
Yeah.
I, as far as that goes, like them trying to affect political change, and like I would be interested to see how that like kind of organization reacts to the long night that's coming.
Yeah.
That could be very interesting.
And it should be noted that, like, throughout history, like, covert organizations seduced information out of people. It was a classic Soviet tactic, too. Fun historical thing here. The first, like, post-World War II leader of Indonesia, Sukarno, I think? The first, like, dictator there. The Soviet Union tried to blackmail him. They recorded him having sex with some spies they sent his way. And they said they were going to release the video for everybody to see. And he's like, yo, awesome, give me some copies.
That's the correct answer.
And they decided not to blackmail him because he was just going to be like, look at how hot these girls
Look at
are.
this!
Look at what your president can do. I got pulled.
Yeah. She lets me hit because I'm a fascist dictator.
I call this the state secret.
Ladies, this next one's called the firing squad.
No! No! Oh, I hit the button. I like it. I like it.
Bene Gesserit.
Bene Gesserit wrong. Okay. I like it up there.
I agree. I don't fully believe it, but if there was like a reveal that there were like spies in prominent brothels where people have famously had loose lips.
Well, no, it's not whether those spies are there. It's whether they are all a connected network.
That's true. Yes,
Those spies are there, and they're just called the prostitutes.
yes.
We know that
These sex workers are making they are running several businesses at once, and we know
It's a
that
blackmail
because
business.
because Tyrion
It's good
uses
money.
them fairly
Tyrion uses
effectively.
them. Littlefinger uses them quite a bit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The White Worm uses them quite a bit in Fire and Blood.
Podrick probably could.
Well, in the show, but yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, in the books he's 8.
Oh.
Yeah.
But yeah.
We gotta call him Pop the God, not Pop the Rod of the books.
Yeah. But that's like, you're right. It is a good source of income because extortion is not a one-time payment. It's rent. Extortion is rent-seeking behavior, and your local economist is very mad about it.
Yeah, also, gathering that information is useful. Even if you're not extorting that person directly, there is someone who is going to pay for that. And if this is a client that keeps beating up your girls or treating them poorly, you might let that information leak very quickly.
Oops.
Yeah.
You might seek out the buyer.
Whether it's
But the thing about this theory is whether
It's
it's coordinated or it's the individual people running it.
Are there just spies and brothels? Of course, that's a historical thing.
Yeah, that is just a fact
is
of
there
life.
a grand northern conspiracy that's yet to be proven?
The best turn of phrase I've ever thought of.
I'm going to put it high on the I like it,
I
but
agree.
low on the believe it.
Not low on the. I think
you think below
Yeah,
the believe it?
just south of Sorella, or just west of Sorella. but
They're
pretty
right
far
there.
north. Pretty
Right
far
there.
north. No, I
Right
do
there? Above 6 suitor?
I do above
You like
6
it more
suitor.
than 6 suitor?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I also like it more than 6
I
suitor.
went a little bit
Put it
more
right
than 6
there.
suitor. I think go up a tiny bit, but
Yeah.
Right there?
yeah. It would be an awesome reveal if it happens, but we don't have enough evidence to suggest.
Yeah, like
There's also
the
the
only
idea
thing
that-
is that it's hard to run a conspiracy that big.
Conspiracies are famously hard to do. If a conspiracy requires more than a dozen people, it's probably not a real conspiracy.
Yeah.
All right, so after the Faceless Woman theory was our Benjen theory duel. So I'm going to talk about Benjen's Magic Garden, and you're going to talk about Benjen's Other Woman. So Tom calls me up one day and says, make a theory about what happened to Benjen Stark. Which I thought about a little bit, but I hadn't thought about in detail, so I went and reread everything about Benjen I could and came up with a different theory.
Okay.
Tom had done something similar. He had been rereading Benjen stuff, and he noticed, oddly enough, a lot of times when Benjen is mentioned, the next thing that's mentioned is food. Or, glass gardens.
They talk about him a lot.
So the idea is that Benjen found a place up north that might be like kind of Oasis-esque in the north. It's a oddly warm spot in a cold area, of which those things do exist.
Yeah.
So it could be like a Gulf Stream sort of situation. Where
It could be a hot spring or some combination thereof.
Yeah, it's actually, I think exactly what you said. It was like maybe it's a hot spring or something, where food grows more plentifully than it does otherwise in the north, and their food shortage will be alleviated by returning Benjen Stark, or they find his farm, and he's like, I've been waiting for you, here's supplies, I have been preparing for the long night.
Benjen's been up there hoeing it up.
This is also my theory.
Hoe it.
Yeah.
My theory is also that Benjen's been up there.
Hoeing it.
Yes, I see
He's been doing some permaculture.
permaculture. My theory is also that he's
Doing
been...
some land management.
My theory is also that he's been hoeing it up, just in a very...
Yeah!
Yeah.
So Zach, so I'll do yours.
Okay, go for it.
Yours is Benjen's Other Woman, and that is that Benjen went north in an interesting sort of parallel to the generally understood story of Ned, right? That he fell in love with someone and forsook his duty. But Zach posits that it is also a parallel to the Night King, where he fell in love with an other and is living north of the wall with an other family. And there, I think I said that there could be two ways that this could be. The way that you said, where he's in love, or the way that I said, where he's like hallucinating that he's having like a normal relationship.
Yeah.
With a wildling, and like John recently resurrected rocks on in and sees that he's just chained to a wall pumping out babies, pumping out other babies, and that both of those are compelling to me. Right? Those are both fucking wild.
Well, I think one of the things that a lot of people theorize is that the others will be found to be more sympathetic than we're led to believe, and certainly more than the show portrays them as.
Are the others separate from... Are they the Children of the Woods thing?
They're what the show refers to as the White Walkers. So,
Okay.
so the idea is...
Which are separate... Are the White Walkers separate from the Whites?
The Whites are the weapons of the others.
The whites are the zombies.
Yes.
The others create zombies. They're the ice creatures. So
Yes.
the idea
But the
is...
others are just
yeah.
people.
Yeah, the others are their own interesting species that we do not understand.
Maybe-
The people in the series propose that they are pure forces of evil. George Martin doesn't really write like that.
Yeah. So it's possible that he went and found something beautiful about their society to him. And after a lot of consideration, he decides to forsake the Night's Watch because he thinks he's on the wrong side and falls in love and settles down basically with aliens. Basically,
Much like John does.
He's basically like, John Carter or some other like person who goes off into like space. Flash Gordon, maybe even.
Yeah, no, I'll take the John Carter thing. I fucking love the Barsoom series.
Zach, this is the plot of Avatar.
This is the plot. Yeah. Man abandons army to sleep with blue woman.
Yeah! Yeah!
James Cameron's The Winds of Winter.
Get your horny hair ready!
I don't believe it, but I do like it. I think that... yeah. Benjen's Other Woman. What do we think?
Honestly...
I think it's a little more likely.
Yeah, me too.
It's definitely darker and George Martin-y. And also, George Martin making
but
the
the
person
question
falls
is-
in love with weird alien is like a stock George R. R. Martin.
Yeah, that's just like he has that in the cookie jar whenever he needs it.
Yeah.
Whenever he's looking for
but
writing
what does...
prompts, he has a jar full of writing prompts, and like 2/3 of them are person falls in love with weird alien.
Yeah.
Okay, but now the question is, what would the others get out of that? Like, is there any benefit from the half human, half other?
Can I take this?
Go for it.
Well, we know that they take human children.
Okay.
They take Craster's children. So for some reason they do recruit children, right? But assuming that Zach's perspective is correct, and they're actually just like people, and Benjen chose to be with them.
Their collecting of the children is just, it's a child left out to die.
Yeah,
They're saving
maybe
this child.
that's the case, right? And maybe like then it's just like a free will and agency sort of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Benjen, the other is dating Benjen.
Yeah. Like in that case, that just makes sense.
Right?
But where the chained up using him as the breeder? That's what I'm curious.
That's my fucked up perspective. I think that the others are going to be complicated, but I think they are going to be angling for war against humanity.
Yeah, I think they have militaristic and not entirely sympathetic aims, but they, as a people and culture, have a sympathetic backstory.
Yeah.
They are doing what, from their perspective, is the right thing, but it's not.
And like for all we know,
Are they doing what essentially the wildlings believe themselves to be doing?
yes, well,
something maybe
trying to flee something.
Oh,
We don't-
they are fleeing.
We don't know what that is, but many people speculate that. The honest answer is we don't know. We have like collective 8 paragraphs of lore on them. We really don't know.
And it also could just be the case that like they feel like humans have most of the world and they have one area they can live in. What right do humans have to stop them when they have the magic powers to do it from making more frozen wasteland?
Yeah.
As far as they're concerned, they look at everybody in Westeros and be like, there's other humans over there across the Narrow Sea. You can just leave and we'll take this place. Because we are running out of land for our own people. And you could argue that's colonialism, imperialism, nationalism.
Unless,
but you can also
you also remember, didn't the first men take the North from...
the children of the forest?
They took the North from the children. Yep, that's for sure.
They
are
can
the
just
children and the other definitely different things?
In the show, they're related.
In the show, they are different. In fact, in the show, the others are artificial. They are manufactured by the children of the forest.
And if for our second, Zach compares something to Warhammer of the episode.
Get your bingo cards out.
That
It's a rare one.
that happens. The orcs were artificially created. I think the Necrons were artificially created. There's a
Not exactly. The Necrons were not...
edge case sort of thing.
The Necrons were artificially enhanced as part of an uplift so that they could be used as a weapon in a war, which is different from the orcs, which were created wholesale.
That's true.
And it gets into a certain thing with Mass Effect where the Krogans were a species that was uplifted and then fucked over as a result of being uplifted.
Look, I just want to say that is how I make out with Hellboy, is I Necron Perlman.
Okay, that's good.
But that could be dragons might be artificially created also. And what if that's an interesting idea because Necrons and orcs still fight like in the olden days, and they are two weapons of war that outlived the people who created them. Because people who made orcs and people who made Necrons aren't around anymore, but their weapons are just sitting there, and that's also very George R. R. Martin.
Yeah, it sure is. Anyway, I like it.
Yeah, I do like it.
I think I'm gonna put it. Oh gosh.
I put it further
Do
north.
I think it belongs near the middle of
Yeah.
I believe it.
Because we don't have strong evidence towards it, but it's very likable.
I really like it.
I think it belongs. Honestly, it might belong right there.
That's
Yeah.
perfectly fine. You
It
could
also fits there, which is a point for it.
That's a good point.
Yeah.
I believe it.
Although I
like
also want to bring in one of my favorite book series.
Yeah?
That neither of you have read. Actually, I don't know if you have. The Codex Illyria.
Okay.
I read this now.
It is by Jim Butcher, who also did the Dresden Files,
Okay.
which I also love.
But Dresden Files are going to come up later.
We are going to reference Dresden Files later.
Good. I'm going to launch into a 3-hour rant. With
Let's
that
go!
However, his other series, which came out of him losing a bet, and him writing the series was what made him lose the bet, which is he and this other person had this argument about, does the plot matter or does the core idea matter more? Like, does the writing matter more or does the core idea? Which is, can good writing save a stupid core idea, or can a good core idea make up for bad writing? And the answer, and he was given the stupid core idea of Lost Roman Legion and Pokemon, and created a really good series.
Awesome idea.
Yeah.
Yeah, well,
Whoever gave him a stupid idea fucked up and gave him a good one.
Yeah. Who the fuck was that? I got some bad ideas for him if you want some.
Yeah. And as a result, it led to this really cool series that I love a lot and no one else has read. In it, though, the civilization that came out of this Lost Roman Legion is, they talk about all of the other species on this continent that they have either completely killed off or shoved far enough away that they're no longer a threat. And, like, there's the Icemen that live north of the wall. It's just, big walls in the north are like a thing in fantasy.
Yeah.
Thank you, Scottish people.
Scottish people.
Well, no, those were the Romans who built it to keep the Picts from coming and eating them.
Does that change my thank you, Scottish people?
I just want to be clear.
That it was the Romans. It was the Romans who put the wall.
But you put the wall
I
to keep the
reject that you're
things in the
not.
north.
Okay, go ahead. I'm sorry.
But like, it's a similar thing there, where there are references to these things that were here before that they just killed off and killed away.
And cut. Ready.
I had a fall.
Do you have a follow-up that was better?
No, not better than that. That would get us in more trouble.
Okay, now that we're back from about 6 minutes of solid button hitting, we can continue.
The second period of button hitting this episode.
Okay. Zach, what's next?
Next is the Red Door theory.
Yes. The Red Door.
You get to explain this one?
Top left, probably. I'm just going to put that up there. The Red Door theory posits that Daenerys' plotline in the entire series is loosely inspired by Paint It Black by the Rolling Stones. Full stop. That's the end of the theory.
The details are what really makes it.
Red door,
And I want it painted black.
Throughout her entire arc, Daenerys remembers a house with a red door. And this is a huge, like, core piece in her arc. She remembers this fondly. This is the, like, people like to talk about how George Martin loves the halcyon days. He loves remembering things fondly, remembering how things were better in the olden times.
And then showing how that wasn't.
Exactly, and then showing how
there was no olden time.
There were never any good old days.
It's important to remember. He likes to demonstrate. It's important to remember that good things happened, but times were not always good. There weren't better times. There were just better moments.
Yes.
And those
those.
And you will have more of those better moments if you continue to push through.
Yes.
Which is kind of beautiful. Open parentheses, incest, close parentheses. And in Daenerys' storyline, the Red Door is an important symbol.
Yeah.
Also an important symbol are the Blackfires. Young Griff Blackfire, many people posit, is not a real Targaryen in spite of the fact that he pretends to be. And he is going to attempt to usurp Daenerys' throne.
We should also note that the location of the Red Door is notoriously sketchy. It doesn't really line up with people's perception of what Bravos is like. She remembers it being warm and there being a lemon tree outside. And Bravos is cold, rainy, and we've explicitly stated multiple times, wow, a lemon tree could like never grow there.
Lemon trees can't grow in Bravos. That sure is weird.
Yeah.
And in the crown, so to speak, of this theory, Zach painted this beautiful scene of Daenerys being a Targaryen, and young Griff being a Blackfire, having their positions flipped socially by Varys.
Disinformation.
Daenerys.
Disinformation.
Right? Yeah, but yes. You're right. I'm
Daenerys
sorry.
treated as the Blackfire, and Griff as the
Daenerys
the
is
true Targaryen.
And Daenerys actually has shockingly little to back up her claims of being a Targaryen.
Yes. Except for her dragons are the only thing she has.
And she could just be a dragon seed, like a black... Like, dragon seeds commanding dragons are a historical thing. So they could just say, sure, you have dragon's blood, you Blackfire, but prove you're Targaryen.
So did Ulf White, and we didn't make him king.
And he wanted to be.
Yeah.
Yeah. If you look at Daenerys's backstory, all the pieces of evidence she could use are gone. Her brother, who people would at least remember sort of what he looked like, because he was born and raised and could talk before he left King's Landing, is melted beyond recognition in a country people have never been to, and some of them probably haven't even heard of.
Yep.
Vaes Dothrak, where's that? In the Dothraki Sea?
Yeah.
Did you just throw words together? Like, what is this?
Yep.
And
the Kingsguard who took care of her, dead.
Yes.
Yep.
And the person who sent her there, deeply intertwined with Varys and could easily start lying and say, I've never met this woman before in my life. And the one thing they took with, you want to take this?
Oh my god, it's the best part. It's the part that sold me.
Yeah.
Daenerys' brother, was called the Beggar King because in order to secure passage off of Dragonstone, was it off of Dragonstone?
It was through the Free City.
Somewhere, yeah, in order to secure
It was actually,
passage.
I believe, what city is Varys from? Is he from Lys, or is he from...
I think he's Pentoshi.
It was in Pentos, I think. It was in one of those cities.
Yeah.
But
They sold their mother's crown. And Daenerys, Zach supposed, might be in the throne room, and she'll be having this confrontation. She will say, I am the queen. I sold my mother's crown to be able to escape, and I have returned to claim my father's seat. And Varys says, oh no, my lady, your crown. Why, it never left the Red Keep. And he produces it, having obtained it somewhere across the Narrow Sea.
because we never found out who bought it.
Yeah, we don't know who purchased the crown.
If you sell it, that means there's a buyer out there somewhere. Who in the fuck in Pentos needs a crown of some random deposed royal? Unless they have
Except
ambitions.
Illyrio fucking Mopatis.
Yes.
Yes. And he just fucking, produces it out from underneath his arm. And, that scene is, exactly the kind of George Martin political drama that he loves to paint.
But that will be a similar gut punch to Shay taking the stand at Tyrion's trial.
Oh, yeah. Oh, no. Oh, no. Look, it could be a council. It could be a great council kind of thing.
Yeah.
Oh, no, ma. And he doesn't call her your grace, he calls her my lady. Oh, no, my lady. The crown never left the Red Keep. It's been here the whole time.
Yeah.
Ha! It's been in the royal treasury.
You could not have possibly been born on Dragonstone. Your mom never made it there. Yeah, right?
Oh, yeah.
You could lie about all sorts of things.
Hell
because,
yeah.
Only Targaryen loyalists, most of whom are dead or in cahoots with Varys, and probably would support young Griff anyways, were there.
Yeah. It's excellent. Yeah. It's fantastic.
On the other hand, she has 3 dragons.
Yes. And this, one might think, could be one of the things that contributes to her Mad Queen arc. That she might...
That she was betrayed this way.
Yes!
She is literally gaslit into questioning her own existence, and it just makes her angry and willing to mow these people down.
And she starts setting motherfuckers on fire, which further turns the country away from her.
And further reinforces the famous Vietnam era song, Paint It Black, as a thematic arc for Daenerys.
As she paints the...
She
paints
literally
King's Landing black.
Well, the idea, yeah, also that, and also like young Griff could go hide in the woods, and she could burn down the King's Woods. Like, there's plenty of opportunity for her to like napalm the hell out of the people of Westeros.
And copyright strike.
I see the girls walk by
Dressed in the summer clothes.
I have to turn my head before my darkness.
I mean, it kind of tracks.
Every time I think about like trying to find something wrong with the theory, like I'm like, it still pretty much just holds up. Like,
Yeah.
And the last thing that I think I would like to, because this is like I fanboy over this. This is the best one we've ever come up with, dude.
Thank you.
Far and away, this is our best theory. Every time I think about it, I think about the way that I write things. Zeb, you write a lot of D&D.
Yeah.
Do you do this too? I will be writing a thing, and I will play the same set of songs on a loop because they make me think about that thing. During earlier in the year when we were doing regular D&D, when I was writing those, I was listening to a lot of jazz and a lot of swing. And so I couldn't think, I couldn't write unless the song Sing 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 by Benny Goodman was playing in my ears. Right.
I had a similar experience with the SCPs that I wrote. It's literally called Roses in Her Eyes. I guess I finally revealed which SCP author I am. Yeah, Roses in Her Eyes.
OnlyFans at 10.
OnlyFans at 10,000. We can't make this joke.
Yes, we can!
You know what?
Because it's
Yes,
not...
we can.
It's at 10,000.
Confirmed. 10,000.
I hope you're
At 10,000, we're posting hog.
It's just...
You gotta pay for it, but it's being posted.
I call this the pink tread.
No! Oh no.
No! They're not even bad enough to hit the button. I just don't like them.
We're just embarrassed for having said them. Yes.
Yeah. All right. Zach, continue. I'm sorry.
So, the Red Door theory.
SCP.
The music. Yes.
Yeah.
So, literally, it's named that, and I ended up having the song itself be an integral part of the plot because I could not write that story without listening to Holland 1945 by A Neutral Milk Hotel. It was literally on loop while I was writing it. So that is a huge aspect of when I'm trying to focus on something, I usually have music going. And that's not always the case, but a lot of times it is. And I can't imagine George R. R. Martin with his clunky ass writer setup doesn't have a Sony Walkman because that's about as equally up to date as his writing setup.
Yep.
That he's listening to music on as he writes.
What is his writing setup?
He uses DOS.
He does. He has a DOS word processor.
That's fucking
It's
baller.
so good.
That's kind of awesome.
Yeah.
And I can just picture him in his little chair, typing away.
What if there was a way for Danny to be painted black? Ooh, a red door.
Painted when your whole world is black.
Are George R. Martin turns more into Yoda every time we do the impression?
Description of food this chapter will have. Description of sex in the next one.
Alright, let's get away. We're about to start 14 and we have 38. We can't go on this many sidebars.
Very prologue I am.
Number 14, family reunion theory.
Yeah! This one's
Okay.
stupid.
This one's stupid.
But it's one of those ones. This is like a genre of our theories. Why would you put this in here if it's not going to happen?
So, yes.
Okay, so what is this?
The family reunion theory is a Tom classic that he made a drawing for, which makes it even better.
it's really good.
Lady Stoneheart. Catelyn
Yes.
Stark comes back as a motherfucking zombie.
Yes.
This is indisputable.
No, this supposes that Ned is the motherfucking zombie.
That's true. During the long night in the show, people will come back from the dead in every point of it, including being goddamn skeletons.
Okay.
And spooky, scary skeletons also attack Bran and Jojen in the show. So skeletons coming back is not unprecedented.
In the books, too, they're all over the place.
That's true. In fact, in the books, every character has a skeleton inside them.
These are facts.
So the idea is that...
Dude, none of these motherfuckers know how to build a goddamn Draugr trap.
Yes, Bloodraven does, but he did it by magic.
So anyways, the idea is when the long night hits, Ned's bones are probably stopped somewhere that has these spooky horror graves in them.
Barrowton. We know
Barrowton.
that Lady Dustin, Lady of Barrowton, was hunting for Ned's bones, and that's the last we heard about them. She was going to try to intercept them.
Maybe she did. It's basically the idea here.
Was she trying to prevent them from going to Winterfell?
She hates Ned Stark.
She wanted to feed them to her dogs.
Why does she hate Ned?
Because Ned buried
For
her...
fucking stupid, complicated
Because-
reasons.
All the people who died at the Tower of Joy were buried at the Tower of Joy and not brought back.
Yeah,
So-
fucking...
And that was her husband, I believe, who died there,
He
right?
didn't bring back her husband's bones.
So, turnabout is fair play. Your bones ain't coming back home either, Nettie boy.
Look, I'm just saying, that's like a 20-year grudge.
20, it's a 20-year grudge over bones.
Over a dead guy!
Yes.
You can go visit his bones. Well, they
Also-
made quite a stink about not telling anybody where it was.
That's true.
Also, Ned could have had the bones retrieved and delivered. He had 20 years to do that.
We someday need to figure out what the fuck actually happened to the Tower of Joy.
Yeah, we need to do a Tower of Joy theory because a lot of people posit that Ned is being so secretive about those bones because Dustin is still alive.
There are no bones to be sneaky about, yes. That's entirely possible. But
Was Dustin what was his name?
Roderick Dustin, I think.
Yeah, Dustin. Was he the Kingsguard that was protecting...
no, that was
No, he came.
that was Arthur Dane.
Yeah.
But
Arthur
came-
Dane, who was the greatest swordsman of the time.
Yeah.
he could have cut you all with one hand while he pissed with the other. Yeah.
Yes. Could have cut.
And there's all the question of how did Ned, a competent soldier...
I think that's a good way. He can hold his own.
Yeah, he's a competent soldier. He is not a duelist.
Yes.
No,
How
they
did
had a
he
strict
get-
number advantage there, so that could be to their favor.
Yes, but also the greatest swordsman and the greatest duelist in all of Westeros.
And
with two other people and a stone door as a choke point.
Yes.
Because there's a stone tower that he is defending, and he doesn't need to defeat the entire army. He just needs to fight. He just needs to defeat one guy at a time, as long as there is a choke point.
Yes.
And that is exactly the kind of thing. That brings us to other parallels of great swordsmen throughout various bits of mythology or great warriors. Things like Cu Chulainn, where he manages to hold off.
Isn't that Cuchulainn? Oh, trying to pronounce H in Irish.
Cu Chulainn.
Cuchulainn, I've heard both.
I feel related to
I'm saying
Edward
Cuchulainn.
Cullen.
Jake Abe, if you're in the comments, how it's pronounced.
Hold on.
If I want to do it properly, there's a lot of weird things to be put in the pronunciation. I'm anglicizing a bit. Buddy, I'm sorry.
Okay. All right.
However,
guys, team,
Yes.
we cannot tap this table. Oh no, we cannot.
I was going to get copyright claimed as the intro for Hot to Teach You.
But it is a kind of thing of, when you have a legendary warrior, when they get to that point of you have a choke point, you can just have them run all day. If they didn't die there, if Dustin and the others didn't die there, was Dustin protecting?
He was one of the people who was with Ned going to get Lyanna.
Okay.
But Arthur Dane and them were trying to stop Ned from getting to Lyanna.
So why would
which is
Ned not
weird.
return the bones of the people who were with him?
Weird.
Okay,
It's
now
weird.
this is weird. This
Yeah,
is
it is.
weird.
The whole business is
This
weird.
whole, this and also is entirely unrelated sidebar.
That's true. This is a different theory.
You started a Y video.
Yeah.
Of our
No,
ranking video.
we've established we're going to do that as a new format. That's going to be weird.
Yeah.
No,
Power of Joy. Weird.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Wait.
because
So Roderick Dustin's bones never came back. Weird.
How many people survived that confrontation?
Ned and Howland Reed.
And they came there with 7 people on his side and
73,
3 members of the
something
Kingsguard.
like that,
Yeah, 3 members of the Kingsguard in a defensive position where they could turn it into a choke.
In the best armor on the planet with the single best weapon in existence, as far as we know, anyway.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh,
He had one of the Valyrian.
It's
not Valyrian.
It's not Valyrian
It's
steel.
made from
It's
meteorite.
fucking forged meteor called Dawn.
Okay.
Fucking
Who
3,000
ends
years
up with
old.
Dawn?
Some dumb shit. Ned takes it, but then he returns it to House Dane after.
Okay.
Ned wins and then returns it.
Which is also weird, because you think they would be mad that you took the most shining example of your family, killed him, presumably to no material benefit, because he doesn't rescue his sister at all, and he sure can't tell people about Jon Snow. So, or if you're, wrong, Daenerys. But, like, he can't just be like, sup, I killed him, here's your sword back. Peace.
Yeah.
Well, no, but that's exactly the kind of thing that the honor obsessed. Ned would. Is he would show
The
up
problem is he'd be beheaded. It's not that he would
They would fucking kill him when he got there.
because he won the war and he went under this pretense of, hey, when I killed your son, it was to no benefit and it was not, like, the killing was not good. I am returning my rightful spoils of war to you, as I do not feel I should have. Like, that's the kind of honorable thing that Ned would do.
Correct. His head
And
would also get on a chopping block immediately after the sentence.
No, but we don't know the Danes.
That's
The
right.
Danes.
No, we do. We know a Sharadane.
Yeah.
We know, to make things even weirder, a Sharadane who seems to have had feelings for Ned fucking jumps out a window after this event. She fucking kills herself.
Yeah,
Because the boy that she loved killed her brother.
I guess.
Supposedly.
I guess.
Allegedly.
It's all weird. Killed her brother while her brother was stopping him from getting to his sister.
It's all very complicated.
It's all weird.
It's a weird, like, it's one of those things where it could be weird because there were orders given months ago. That was the last time Dane heard anything, and this guy came to take the person that he was told to protect by, was it Rhaegar?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's possible they're following orders that are now relevant, yes.
Yes.
Orders from a dead man.
Yeah, orders from a dead man to protect Lyanna from anyone who came to take her. Because Rhaegar's thinking it's going to be fucking Robert Baratheon, who Lyanna does not like.
Yes.
But this kind of also flies in the face of every, coup that has ever happened in Westerosi history, where the Kingsguard's just like, well, he's on the throne, so that's the guy.
Yeah, it's fucking weird, right?
Well, okay,
It's
so
all strange.
Rhaegar wasn't
So-
the Mad King, right?
No.
No, it was
No.
Mad King's son. Mad
Yes.
King's heir. Yes.
And he was, by all reports, not
totally
a monster.
Seems like a fine guy, except that
Until the weird thing with Lyanna.
except that he appears to have kidnapped a 16-year-old.
Yes.
Or which it's more likely that he ran off with a 16-year-old, which I should note is not great, but by Westerosi standards, that's a pretty minor offense.
Yeah, it's pretty fine,
Yes.
all things considered, right?
Yes. Within the context of everything
Yes.
else.
Don't do it now.
Don't do that.
Yeah,
If
don't
you
do
come to us for moral advice, which is a bad plan, if you come to us for moral advice when thinking about running off with people, don't do that.
Yeah.
Don't run off with somebody half your age if you can help it.
No, hold the phone. Wasn't he like 19?
No.
How old was Rhaegar?
Rhaegar Targaryen was born. Let me
He
look it up.
he wasn't fucking 25 years older than Viserys.
I don't think he was 25 years older, but
He was like 10. He was 11 years older than Viserys, right?
Rhaegar was
We're
born.
fact checking right now.
He was born during the tragedy of Summerhall, which we know is in 259.
22 or 23.
22 or 23. Still not good.
Yes.
Still very not good.
To all
Yes.
the 16-year-olds out here,
Yes,
don't run away with a 23-year-old.
When a
Yeah,
23-year-old asks you out, you fucking say no.
You run. You let
You say no and you report that congressman from Florida.
Yeah! Oh my God!
That one's staying in.
There it is! I'm glad we reached the natural end point to this tangent. Back up the caves! Come on, everybody! Follow the chalk markers! Okay, here's Ashara Dane jumping out a window. Good. Here's Ned and Howland Reed. There's Arthur Dane. There's Dawn. That's made of meteor. You guys want to talk about how that's made of meteorite?
I think we're good.
Oh, okay, I'm sorry. Keep going.
Prior to mining technology advancing enough, the earliest iron that humans had access to was meteoric iron. So, like all the oldest existing pieces
It was
of
a
iron
joke!
weaponry.
I didn't actually want to go on this tangent! This was a bit!
You started this bit.
You
Leave the door open to sidebars.
So I think which pharaoh
This
was
is a
it?
disagreement. Will Pharaoh.
No.
Mia Pharaoh.
Um,
Pharaoh gets.
I think it might have been King Tut. But there's at least one pharaoh from the Bronze Age who had an iron dagger. People were like, "Oh, it's a meteoric iron." It's like, well, it had to be because there's no other sources of iron at that time.
That doesn't mean it's not badass.
It is, but the ability to forge iron came before the technology necessary to mine iron.
Oh, we've lost Zach. Back up the path.
Okay, so
Come on. We were talking.
what was the scene? What was the
Ned's
original?
bones. Barbary Dustin is mad that Roderick Dustin's bones were not returned.
Yeah, and why would he not return with the bones?
Right? It's weird. He returned with his sister's bones.
Yeah, it's just like you need to go, you get a horse, you get a cart, you label all of the corpses well, and you drop them off along the way, or at least you get to a point where someone else can pick them up.
You know what else is weird? Ned, it is understood, I don't know if Ned says it explicitly, but it is understood that the Tower of Joy, at the end of these events, the Tower of Joy was demolished by Ned and Howland Reed? Two bros tore down the tower.
Two bros. Yeah, what was
the Tower of Joy
was
was-
the joke he made in Amish Barn Racing, but like with
R-A-Z-I-N-G, yes.
So it's... Well, also another thing with the Amish barn raising is you have like 30 fuckers doing it.
Yeah, you can tear down a stone tower with 20 people.
Yeah,
you can't do it with two.
I mean, you can't, but it'd take
It
weeks.
took a fucking month, right?
Yeah.
Which Ned did not have. He was at war.
You would be exhausted like 2 hours into it.
Yeah.
If you had 20 people, though, you could have everybody do a smaller roll of it.
Unless...
So what if nobody died? What if the only person who died at the Tower of Joy was Lyanna? What if Ned and his 7 and Arthur Dane and his 3 and the couple of staff that they had there, what if they just fucking talked?
Yeah.
And Ned agreed to take the baby. Arthur Dane and Oswald went, and whoever the fuck the other one is, they agreed to go to the fucking wall. They stripped off their white cloaks, put on black coats, cut their hair, said to Ned, "Here, take this sword because it makes me look a lot like me." Fucked off to the wall.
Yeah.
And everyone agreed to live. Tore the tower down, said we can't bring anyone's bones back to hide what happened because they have the crown prince in their hand.
Yeah.
What if they agreed to just keep it quiet? A conspiracy with less than 12 people can work. And this
is a conspiracy of 10
is
people.
11, plus, because Willow was there.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, but who...
Yeah.
Okay, but...
That
To
is exactly
what
the
end?
bar to your conspiracy.
That is exactly the bar.
Well, the thing is, to what end? Is it just that they didn't want this child to have to die?
At first it was Ned Stark's nephew.
Yeah. Like, Ned would never let that child die.
And
Ned would... Because that
were-
was his beloved sister's beloved son.
Man, maybe it's fucking... Maybe it is fucking... Maybe Arthur Dane is Man's Reader.
I like him as goodness.
Corn Half-Hand.
Corn Half-Hand a lot better. Him as a half-hand makes a lot more sense.
Because we meet a lot of people in the Night's Watch with thematic parallels to people at the Tower of Joy.
Dawn came with the half-hand. It's an
Yeah.
actual sentence in
And
there.
Mance Rayder is notably strong with a two-handed greatsword. He is very skilled with a very large sword.
He also plays the harp like
He
Greyjoy.
does play the harp. I mean, It's weird, right? Like,
Yeah.
The only reason that I could imagine Ned absolutely refusing to bring the bones back, number one, and refusing to tell anybody where they were, is if the bones weren't there.
Yeah.
If he's not actually dead.
No, Ned is not a good liar.
No.
Ned is a shitty liar.
Yeah. That's why he doesn't ever try to come up with an excuse for Jon other than he's mine.
Yeah, he just repeats the same phrases over and over again and says, everybody fuck off.
Yep.
And because of how he carries himself in every other aspect of his life, people will just get to the point where they accept we're never going to have an answer.
Oh, that's awful. Oh my god.
Yeah, it's just straight up dry gin, which you should never take straight up.
Talk about the bones, please.
So, the bones.
It's worth noting that there was like an inch or so of gin in the glass. In the top, there's like, I'm going to say 2 fingers of gin in the tumbler that Tom just...
Oh, boy.
Of juice, sorry. Of juice in that tumbler.
Juice.
Wow. My god. Fuck. Okay.
So,
And
So,
when gin first came around, people drank it in pints.
it
They
must
drank
have
it
been
like
much
they were
less
drinking beer.
potent back then.
That's raw. It
Oh,
tasted
no.
like Windex.
Yeah.
So, anyways, the bones. We've gotten so far off the rails with this theory.
So anyways, man's
The theory is those bones will come back to life during the long night, and the bones of Ned Stark and the undead zombie of Catelyn Stark will meet again. The one thing she wanted, to be able to see Ned again, will happen in the most dark
Awful
way
and
possible.
horrific.
Yes.
Yep.
Yes.
And I drew what I think is quite a wonderful image of the undead zombie Catelyn and the falling apart bones of Ned embracing. It was actually kind of nice. Zach turned it into an emote for our chapter, except Catelyn is wearing the commie glasses.
Okay.
And like again, I'm gonna use this phrase again. Why would it be in there? So Baratheon is a city on barrows. It is a city built on a whole bunch of graves.
Why would he not bring the bones back to Graveburg? To fucking Corpse Town.
That's not what I mean.
Oh.
Right. The bones, it takes a little, you gotta jump through a hoop or two to get Ned's bones there. I think they are there because Barbary Dustin, Lady of Baratheon, wanted them.
Yeah.
But from George Martin's perspective, there's zombies in this story. Why have a city full of bones if you're not gonna raise the city full of bones? Why? It's a corpse city. Why is there a corpse city in your story if you're not gonna raise the corpse city?
Yeah.
Bro, why are you gonna have why?
Yeah. So
I mean, we can. There, of course, there's always the argument that it's really cool.
yeah.
Yeah.
That's a fine. There's nothing wrong with it.
In fantasy,
Right.
there's always the argument. I just
It's
thought it was
really,
cool.
it's really cool, and there's no place in this story, but I want it established in the world because some future project will happen.
That's a totally fine supposition, right?
That is why
And
half
George
of
R.
my
R. Martin
writing
certainly
is.
thought he'd be done with these books a lot earlier.
However, counter argument: city full of zombies, though.
Yeah.
There's giant graves, not giant graves. Graves
Graves
of
of
giants, which sounds fucking amazing.
Yeah. I agree.
There's already zombies in the story.
Yes. And if that were the theory, I would say I like it and I believe it.
Is it
The
up
theory
in
is that
the
there
north?
will be a family reunion between Ned and Catelyn
I
Stark.
do say that I would also consider this complete if the ghoul of Ned Stark meets any of the Stark family and is recognized, and I think that's kind of likely.
I think that's certainly possible. So I don't know
It
if
really
I
sucks
I think
for
I
the
put this-
resurrected Jon Snow if that's the...
That's true.
Yeah, fire zombie Jon Snow meets ice zombie Ned. That is poetic in a Shakespearean kind of way.
Yeah.
Where am I putting this, guys?
I think right underneath the I believe it line.
the
I think
fire
right,
zombie.
like a little under Sorella level, but definitely in the I like it area.
Like up near the Faceless Woman theory?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't like it as much as the Faceless Woman. I'm gonna put it like here.
That's fine.
So the fire zombies.
Yeah.
Because there's the Oh fuck, what's his name? The one-eyed dude who's been resurrected like
Beric Dondarrion.
Dondarrion, yeah.
In the books, he dies so Catelyn Stark can live as Lady Stoneheart.
Yeah, he like throws up into Catelyn's mouth and she comes back.
Okay.
Much like birds. That's how birds resurrect people.
Fly away.
Did he, like, between his first death and his last death, did he age at all?
He did not age, but he
Like,
lost himself.
Like fucking fell apart.
He by like the end of it, his idea of himself was so abstract, he couldn't remember basic facts about who he was.
He said, "They tell me I was betrothed, but I do not know who that was. They say that I had a castle, but I could not find that castle today." He was the Lord of Blackhaven, which is a sizable holding.
Which he lived at and should remember. Much like I can
So
remember
he
what
was-
this house looks like because I grew up here.
So he was less. It was less that Dondarrion was brought back as much as his body kept being moved around. Sometimes of its own volition.
Yeah, kind of.
He almost feels like a puppet at the end. A puppet who, at the end, decides to cut his own strings, which is one of my favorite narrative ideas.
Yeah.
Somebody who decides that the only winning
So he was
is,
mental.
The only winning move is not to play in a dark and penultimate if I am somebody's pawn. If I am R'hllor's pawn here, I'd rather be a corpse. Is basically what he goes.
And so he was.
His story is a dark one.
Yeah.
And also awesome.
Yes.
And in the show, it's very sanitized down too. Oh yeah, I just keep coming back to life.
It's
weird.
He does have one speech, I think, where he where the it dolly zooms in on him slowly, and he's like, "I can't remember the man I used to be." And a person he's asked, "Is that am I the person that I used to be, or am I something else?
Yeah.
Am I a shadow, a shade, or something new?" It's fucking incredible. It's incredible.
And that is touching on a concept that I really like that they don't explore because there's other things they're doing with this story, which is particularly with memory action, what is a person? There's a sci-fi show, Dark Matter, that does that really well. Where it opens up with a bunch of people waking up on a ship under attack. None of them remember who they are. None of them know what's going on. None of them have any memories. But there's a lot of people that hate them and want them dead. And they're trying to figure out what exactly happened. And they're all essentially with this fresh slate, given this opportunity to choose who and what they want to be. Dondarrion doesn't seem to have that choice because every time he's brought back, what he was before he died was less and less there, and it's more and more what the people around him told him he was supposed to be.
Yes. He loses agency as time goes on.
Yeah.
And so it's things where it's
he becomes less Beric Dondarrion and more Lightning Lord with every resurrection cycle.
Yes.
Yeah, it is whoever around him is there has this undue amount of influence as his perception and understanding of self becomes looser and looser. There was an intense stare down going on there.
We all became very quiet as Zach chewed a piece of caramel corn.
I did, yeah. We got to be quicker than this. We're still on family reunion.
That's not true.
We're not yet halfway through this list.
We're already halfway there.
We're not halfway.
We're halfway there.
We're not
halfway there.
Family reunion. I think we have a good spot for it.
Yeah.
The next one is the Cinnamon Conspiracy.
Which is a what?
The Cinnamon Conspiracy. This one's interesting because we theory crafted this one live. Also, I noticed the trial of Jaime Lannister is in here.
It is a subset of the Trials of Herod.
Oh, look at that.
Yes.
Cool.
I like the Cinnamon Conspiracy.
I like
What's
Cinnamon
the
Conspiracy. We should
Conspiracy?
both sort of go ththrough this one because we both kind of made it.
pretty good.
You came to me and said, why does the Cinnamon Wind show up goddamn everywhere?
Everywhere!
Where-
Cinnamon Wind is a ship. It is captained by a summer islander named Kahora Mo, who's very charming and very likable. We like him. He and his daughter become friends with Sam and Gilly. He shows up at the beginning in the second book. He brings Daenerys the news that King Robert is dead. And he brings news of the Iron Islands, I think, of the power struggles on the Iron Islands. And he transports Sam and Gilly across the Narrow Sea.
And he's taking Marwyn back to Dany.
Yeah! So, he hangs out with one Targaryen royal, goes and picks up another Targaryen royal in Maester Aemon, and then goes and picks up a person who is either related to that Targaryen royal. We should have talked about that in one of the earlier ones.
We should have talked about our Marwyn Targaryen.
Marwyn
Bright Flame.
Fucking holy shit.
Yeah.
Marwyn, who may be related to Daenerys through some clusterfucky nonsense.
But even if he's not.
He's certainly going to Daenerys.
And he's a weird magical figure.
Yes.
He's a weird person who has studied magic in a way that the other maesters refer to him as like some sort of wacko.
They're like, it sure is fucking weird. It sure is fucking weird, right? It's weird that
That's weird.
these people met either 3 or 4 members of royalty in the space of like a year, right? Because they met Daenerys and Aemon Steelsong and Aemon Targaryen and Marwyn Brightflame. Rapid succession.
If Marwyn is a Bright Flame.
If
Marwyn could just be a really weird maester, but it's weird that he also is meeting his really weird maester. Unless, of course, he's on somebody's payroll.
Yes.
Then, he's not just a merchant. He's a traveling, maybe not spy, but informant, right?
Yeah, like what Littlefinger has.
And merchant's a perfect cover story to go fucking gossip everywhere. I got news from out of town, you got news from in town, let's chat.
So, let's talk about some centuries-long conspiracy shit. If events portrayed in the House of Dragon are accurate,
Okay.
we have a Valerion who was doing shit on the ocean, went off and kinda has also gone. He might have fathered any children, but he could have started a legacy.
Surely. You are not suggesting. Hold the fucking phone.
We're not in the Lost Sellsword theory for another several...
Hold the fucking phone here, bud.
Okay.
Hold the phone, you put your Molson down, you hold the fucking phone there, bud.
Okay, slow your roll there, bud.
You're telling me that Laenor Valerion went and started a fucking merchant company. And they traded in information, presumably to help Rhaenyra through the war.
Yes.
But they continued that for the rest of the Targaryen dynasty.
Yes.
Into today.
Yes.
That's actually
sick as fuck.
Actually, fucking is really baller.
Or
I hate it.
or just outlived the war, right? But it was still useful, right? Hey, people still need merchants to go around.
Yeah, like
and
if it was started by, Laenor Valerian, and it's just still going, it still has some degree of loyalty to the Targaryens.
Or it's just the highest bidder thing at a certain point, right? Like,
Well, but right now, all of these interactions with Targaryens, potential Targaryens, would track right along with, like, if it is,
I don't think they do, because he would be searching. He would,
There's also the lazy writer. I just needed a boat argument.
That's true. It could just be,
Okay, but now we're getting into a Doylist
second boat.
Well, now we're getting to Doylist Watsonian dialectics, and that's
Martin's better than that.
Yeah, Martin's better than that, and also
this man has over 1,000 named characters. He can make another boat if he wants to.
Yeah, he notably does make at least one other boat.
It's the same boat intentionally.
Yeah, because making more boats is not hard. Yeah. And he would, given the kind of like say, you would expect him to have a whole fleet's worth of names ready for boats.
True. And there are at least 2 other boats in the story that we're aware of.
Like, it could have been one of the motherfuckers out of Seaguard who happens to pick him up.
Yeah.
Right? One of the people who used to be allied with Robb and is like, I've been doing merchant stuff because I don't want Joffrey to cut my fucking head off. Yeah. Cersei, rather, to cut my fucking head off.
Yeah.
So I've been doing merchant stuff, hanging out in Bravos quite a bit. It could have been him.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it could have been fucking anybody.
Yeah.
It's not anybody. It's these 2 again.
Yeah.
It's fucking weird that it's these 2 again.
I agree.
So I think they're working for Marwyn.
And
I think they're on Marwyn's place.
That's a conclusion we came to. Yeah. Marwyn has contacts in the east. This is known. Miri Mazdur knows Marwyn. And she lives in the fucking middle of nowhere.
Jesus Christ, that God. We gotta do that one soon.
We have to do M+M = D is coming up.
Alright, so, where's the cinnamon conspiracy going?
I like it and believe it a little bit in both directions. So maybe you're right about Craster Targaryen.
Yeah, like here?
That's fine, yeah.
Okay. Now I have to do the thing of my version of it where it is a merchant company and information ring started by Laenor Velaryon as part of his loyalty still to his cousins and his children.
Sure.
So,
Zach, I'm beginning to fear that we may have to split this into 2 recordings.
That's entirely possible, and I have other things I need to be working on. We are still not at our halfway point.
Let's get to the halfway point, and then we'll call it.
Okay, number 16.
Yeah.
2 Lannisters in a trench coat.
Let's go! I love it! It's so stupid!
It is probably the
Oh.
absolutely I don't believe it theory.
2 Lannisters in trench coat.
Tom, this is one of my theories.
It's the dumbest theory
we've ever
Oh
done.
my god.
It is very much the dumbest theory.
I'm aware of this theory.
Alright, you ready?
I hate you both.
Ares Oakhart. It's kind of weird.
Yeah?
It's kind of weird what happened to Ares Oakhart.
Yeah.
We'll
He dies in the most bitch ass manner possible.
Yeah, he does.
To borrow a turn of phrase from the Bible.
That's how Jonah died.
Yeah. And then Jonah died a bitch ass death. It's in the Bible.
Amen. Ares Oakhart dies to Arya Hota in one suicidal charge, wherein he does not even get within the striking range of Arya Hota. A knight of the Kingsguard, a seasoned knight, charges someone on a horseback, charges someone, whoop, just dead.
Now, granted, that's what Arya Hota's weapon is made for, is to, hit people from a distance. And
what was Arya Hota?
He's got a big old pole axe. So, him swinging and murking somebody on top of a horse is not
unit of people with pole axes is effective anti-cavalry. But when you come down to a dude with a pole arm versus a dude in a cavalry role, it's a little bit different.
No, a little more ambiguous, yes.
He is a famously skilled warrior.
Okay.
Arya Hota is.
He's not.
So, and he does have, with the pole arm, the reach to hit, because I'm assuming he's got a short sword.
He's got a long sword.
He's got a long sword that he's one-handing.
Yep.
Even with that, he does not have the reach from the top of the horse to hit Arya Hota before some dude with a pole arm, who is very good at that, can take him down from the horse. And once he's fallen from the horse at speed, it's pretty easy to cave his skull in with the haft of your
He
pole.
dies before he hits the ground.
But seasoned knight of the Kingsguard, who trained with some of the best warriors on the planet, should know that.
Yeah.
How much battle had he actually seen?
I don't know.
I don't think he had particularly seen exact battles.
It's mostly
he trained with military veterans. Basically.
Yes.
But there is a difference where you can have all the training in the world, but if you don't have the right mindset, when shit goes down, you can do stupid things.
That's true.
I'm saying he should know enough not to die in seconds.
Most sword fights
He should be
seconds.
capable of making a fucking fight of it, right? He should be capable. A knight of the Kingsguard, man who is well trained, wearing the best armor on planet Earth. He should be able to give a very skilled opponent a run for his money. I think about the fight between the Mountain and the Viper, the Mountain and Oberyn Martell. Yes.
Yeah.
Where Oberyn Martell was fucking outmatched.
Yeah.
In every single category except speed.
Mm-hmm. Speed and I guess like different fighting styles.
Sure.
Ability to switch it up.
Yeah.
Because he had fought in fighting pits, which teaches you different ways to fight.
Oberyn Martell was a better fighter, but not a better enough fighter to outweigh the fact that the Hound was giant, well armored, and a berserker.
Yeah, the Mountain is fucking wild.
Or the Mountain.
Yeah,
it's like
the Mountain is a big fucking berserker, and that counts for a lot in single combat.
Yeah, it's like taking the world's greatest paperweight boxer, taking on somebody who is like fucking huge.
Yeah.
Taking on Arnold Schwarzenegger, who's never boxed a day in his life, but can probably knock most people out with a punch.
Yeah. There does come a certain point where size and mass can outweigh skill.
And we heard it here on our podcast, size matters.
And you wouldn't expect Oberyn Martell to win that match in a stand-up fight. You would, however, expect Oberyn Martell to be able to last for a little while.
Which is what he does.
Yes. He lasts for a while. He makes a good show of it. He pisses off the Mountain.
Yeah.
Manages to trip him up a couple times and manages to make it a draw.
Yes.
And
I would
almost
expect
kills him if he does. If he could have finished
if he hadn't started taunting, he would have won.
He needed a confession in his mind.
Yes. I would expect Aris Oakheart to die in 2 minutes. Square up, understand that you are against a highly skilled opponent with more reach than you. Square up and wait for your opponent to make a mistake. Or wait for the other people to become a problem.
Okay, now here's the other thing. Of the three of us, who has studied historical European martial arts, and sword fighting, and medieval combat?
I've done
the
a
most
little
out
bit.
of three of us.
I've done a little bit, but you've probably done more.
Tom pushes up his glasses and says that this discussion is absolutely not worth the conclusion we're going to get to.
Yes, I understand. I don't care. I want to talk
The theory is called Two Lannisters in a Trench Coat.
You can see where it's going.
Yes, I know the conclusion.
He goes out like a piece of shit because he's actually two smaller pieces of shit.
He's smaller people who've never fought a day in their lives.
And that's how he dies. He dies like someone who's never fought anybody before.
Yes, and if it were two preteen...
Two 13-year-olds.
Two 13-year-old Lannisters. They get knocked down, they play dead at the end.
One of them is dead, but the bottom half is alive.
No, I think that they're both... If it's the two Lannisters in trench coat, they're both alive. They just knocked down. It's just like, let's stay here.
Yeah.
Okay. And they're just like, we'll just not move anymore. The battle is over. We get out. We find some way to Casterly Rock. We go to our uncle. We just get some shitty job pushing papers. I never want to do this nice shit again.
One of them we have no evidence is even a Lannister. We just asserted.
Yes. One of them is Tyrek. The other is
some kid from the Riverlands who went missing,
but does have a Lannister name.
Has a Lannister-esque name. Yes.
It's like Tigris or something.
The famous river. Yeah.
Yes.
Good old Tigris Rivers, bastard of
So
Tyrek and his best of the Bracken family, Tigris Rivers.
Yeah.
It's Twin Euphrates.
Tigris Rivers.
Yeah. So Tyrek and his buddy, who may or may not be a Lannister, are on a weird slapstick trench coat.
Yes.
Yeah.
They're doing the Vincent Adultman.
This is more complicated by the fact that they are in a long-term semi-committed relationship with a 30-year-old.
There's some problems with this.
I remember you talking about this part
They're
here.
doing the Peter Griffin bit where it's not actually cheating because Quagmire is inside of my clothes and he's the one who sticks the dick out.
Yes.
It's not actually.
We don't know how old the bottom half is. He could have been like 16, 17. Westerosi standards is not abnormal.
He's very small for an 18-year-old.
He's just the really short 18-year-old.
Oh my god.
God.
Oh god.
Anyways,
Now,
that's the theory. That's the whole ass
That's it.
theory.
Okay.
That's it. Now, if you want the floor to talk about the fight,
We're not allowed.
some dipshit who's done a lot of training but never had that real combat makes a stupid charge in and gets his chest caved in by some dude with a polearm using all that momentum against him.
it's just some real damn anticlimactic scene.
Yes, but a lot of combat is very anticlimactic because it's someone makes a mistake in their first move and the other person guts them and moves on.
Yeah, that's
Sword fights do not last
But
very
it's
long.
there's so much going on in that scene. A child gets their ear cut off in that scene.
Yeah.
Fucking holy
So
shit.
chaotic.
Yeah. And it, that's a I'll grant you, but if that's true, that is a stupid fucking thing to do. And I'm
Yes.
mad at him for making that stupid of a decision.
Yes. But again, making a stupid decision in combat's pretty fucking common.
Especially as he had been caught as a traitor. So in universe it does kind of track because he's like, I'm mad.
Yeah. It could just, the most realistic thing is he makes a snap decision and doesn't think about it until it's too late, and by the time it's too late, it's an axe in him. But what if he was two kids in a trench coat?
Yes. More importantly, what if he's two kids in a trench coat? Zach, I'm putting this pretty much all the way on the left.
Yeah. We love it, and it's categorically not true.
Put it right there.
Two Lannisters in a trench coat. I like it right
All
there.
right.
Okay.
How many left?
If we're only going halfway, then we're on 17 of 19.
Okay.
About to be.
Let's do it.
Because 17 is the 16 children of Robert Baratheon.
Okay.
The babies of Bobby B.
Okay, so I had an idea for this, which is we just do a quick lightning round where you list off the names and I say yes or no.
Edric Storm.
No.
But the book says so!
He lies sometimes.
Maya Stone.
Yes.
Gendry Waters.
Yes.
The twins in the Westerlands.
That Cersei says Robert killed. That she had killed, rather.
One of them is, the other's not.
exists.
One of them is, the other isn't.
Okay. Bella.
Yes.
Bara.
No.
Wow, Cersei had that infant whacked for nothing.
No!
Pod the God.
Yes.
Obviously.
Edric Dane.
Yes.
That one's kind of fun.
Amory Fray.
No.
Lyanna Mormont.
No.
Oh, she killed a giant, though.
Yeah,
She's just cool.
She's got a very
just
Bobby
cool.
B demeanor to her.
Yeah, no, she's just cool.
Her.
She is just fucking cool.
I hope she's that cool in the books.
She's
the best part of the later seasons of the show.
Yeah.
All she's done in the book so far is send that letter to Ramsay telling him to fuck off.
Yes.
Yes, there's
She
one
sends a
king
letter
in the
saying-
north and his name is Stark. Eat shit and die, Ramsay.
Yeah. Russell Merriweather.
Yes.
Brella.
No. Actually, yes.
Which one's Brella?
Oh. Doesn't matter. They're a Baratheon bastard.
Okay.
Satin.
No, Satin's Euron.
Yeah, Satin's Euron. But Euron is,
Euron is, okay.
but not Satin. It's complicated.
Wait, no, we had another one. Euron he's twins with Leaf, the child of the forest.
That's true.
Yeah.
Ty.
No, that's a Lannister.
That's another Lannister name. Yeah.
And an unnamed Estermont.
Probably.
Probably. Okay.
What about Renly?
People did submit Renly. I don't necessarily buy
We
it,
did
but I
not-
see
we
why
didn't-
people think that.
We didn't put it high enough on. That isn't in our 16.
Okay, I still like.
You like
that.
Renly?
Yeah.
I don't know who to replace for Renly.
Oh.
Maybe the unnamed Estermont.
But the problem is we know that one. The problem is George R. R. Martin pretty much explicitly states this guy fucked his own cousin for a whole ass fortnight.
Yeah, that's true.
That's a good way to impregnate somebody is to have sex with them 14 days in a row.
Zach,
if you come to this podcast for life advice.
Don't
do that unless you want to.
Don't
do that.
Don't fuck your cousins for 2 weeks in a row.
Take a break.
Get some Gatorade. Zach, which of these are original to us?
I forget. Well, these are also a lot of these are fan submitted. I think the last few are ones I threw in there, but I'd heard Satin and the Estermont and all those before. I think the only one that I think I hit on my own was shoot, I don't even know if I did. I forget if I submitted any of these that I had never heard before on my own.
Okay, put them in the comments. We can skip them.
Yeah, I think we can put this, but I think we like this theory and we believe it.
Yeah.
So we can put that in there.
Babies of Bobby. I think
Which 16 specifically, there might be some debate over, but...
Like, somebody said Theon, which is kind of interesting.
The timeline's not amazing on it, but it's not out of the question.
I'm putting it up here.
Yeah, the problem is
Bobby be
Theon... Theon is a character who I enjoy the tragedy of.
Yeah.
Because the Starks did love him.
But he always wanted to be a Greyjoy.
Yeah. But, the Starks, Robb loved Theon. Theon was, in his eyes, every bit his brother, just the same way Jon was.
His is a sad story.
Yeah.
It's not over.
It's not.
Do you think he's going to suicide at the Night King?
I think that he is going to get to the point where he is going to do some huge sacrifice for the Starks. For whichever Starks are left, he is going to dedicate his life and his death to them.
Yeah, we should do a Theon latecomer video.
Yeah.
All right, Zach, what's next?
Next is the famous, well-beloved theory, M+M D.
Oh my god.
Which... I don't think you're the first person to ever suggest it, but I think you've probably done the most research for it.
I wasn't able to find
What is it?
else.
Really? The idea is that Dany is the child of Marwyn and Mirri Maz Dur, which means that Dany burned her own mom alive and also isn't a Targaryen. Unless Marwyn's a Targaryen.
Yeah, she's a bright flame.
Then she's a bright flame.
And what are the bright flares again? Are they
The bright flames are an abandoned plot that George R. R. Martin was going to make the original Blackfires, and then he realized he could have written them a lot cooler, so he made the Blackfires instead.
So they're just a line of Targaryen bastards that
They
was
might not
elevated.
even exist because they might just have died out with the one, right?
But
They were at some point elevated to having some level of title, but were decidedly not
one of
officially Targaryens.
Egg of the Duncan Egg books.
Yeah.
Not quite yet King Aegon V. His elder brother is Aerion, called Aerion Brightflame, and he was fucking crazy. He liked to break people's fingers for fun. And he ended up dying slamming a shot glass full of wildfire because he thought it would turn him into a dragon. He had one son. That son's name was Maegor. We don't know what happened to that son. Zach posits that it is Marwyn. That Marwyn is what happened to that baby.
Or at least Marwyn's a descendant of that.
Sure.
Yes.
Sure.
He had one child who is highly implied to have gone across the Narrow Sea in the first book. Most people just view it as abandoned plotline that became the Blackfires because my dad was crazy, and then I went across the sea, and then I had some kids, and that kid shows up one day. It's like, hey, this throne is for me, right? Is not as compelling as a family that consistently has fought that throne has belonged to us, and we're getting it back. Damn it! Way more compelling of a story. So.
It's a thing that's happened a couple of times.
Yes.
Yeah.
Having the Blackfire Rebellions being a huge part of the history was a better fit for where he wanted to go narratively. But it does leave the Bright Flames as interesting what if. What if there's others out there? What are they doing? And Marwyn has features you could argue are Targaryen. You could also just argue that he's old. But there's no direct evidence contradicting his heritage, and he is obsessed with magic, which is a Targaryen thing. They have a lot of magic intertwined with their history. And he's literally like, I gotta go meet Daenerys. So it's possible that it's a Targaryen connection. It's also the way he phrases why he's not trusted by the Maesters does not make it sound like he is not trusted due to his ties with magic. He says they couldn't trust him nor me, and the trust him is Maester Aemon his dragon blood. The other Targaryen. Yes,
his uncle.
It makes it sound like they couldn't trust him because he had dragon blood. Same reason they couldn't trust me.
Yeah. Ask yourself why Maester Aemon wasted his life on the wall when by rights he should have been raised to Archmaester. His blood was why they couldn't trust him, no more than they can trust me. Which makes it sound like his blood is also untrustworthy.
Yes. Which could be a bright flame.
Also, I think that the timeline does work out for him actually being that kid Maegor. Because
he is quite old.
He should be 25 or 30 years younger than Maester Aemon, which would put him like 75, 80.
Which is totally in line with what his age is.
That is old for Westeros, but not unprecedentedly old. And fits for the character description we've been given.
That also means Aemon was still...
Aemon is 102.
And still...
That also
still kicking.
Yeah.
That also means he knocked up Miriam Isdar in his late 50s.
That's also not unprecedented.
It's not unprecedented.
Yeah.
Also, we don't know when... we don't know how old... We don't know when Maegor was born. He could be as much as like 30 or 35 years younger than Maester Aemon.
This also leads to a weird, almost sort of Oedipus sort of thing here, where Dany killed her mother and is about to meet her father, hopefully not to have sex, but...
We did spawn some ships with that theory.
We did.
M+D.
M+D.
Denarwyn.
But yeah, I don't necessarily believe this theory. It's fun to think about.
I'm putting it down there. It's trash. It's so good.
It is.
Yeah. Zeb is done. There it is.
Yeah.
It's over there.
Okay. That was 18. 19 is the 15th flame.
Which one?
That's our halfway. This one's our halfway point.
Did this one start as a Y?
It started as a Y.
Yeah.
Y is Dragonstone, a prominent location throughout the history of Westeros. An active volcano.
It's a fucking active volcano.
They bury that lead super hard, but Dragonstone, where Stannis lives, where Dany lands in the show, where Daenerys is born, where a huge important part of the Dance of Dragons, that shit's an active volcano that has like more turbulent days than others. Smoke comes out of it in certain scenes. What is happening with that volcano? Because you don't put an active volcano in your story.
It's the same thing as
keep posed the whole time.
It's the fucking city full of corpses.
Yeah.
Why do you have an active volcano? What do volcanoes do, Zach? They fucking erupt.
They erupt.
Because he likes the Icelandic sagas, and if you have Icelandic shit, there's a volcano. It's just a volcano that's always, it's not doing much, it's just there.
Let us never discount that it could just be cool. Right?
Yes.
It could just look awesome.
Yeah, it could just be for the same reason that Robert Eggers had the spoilers for The Northman, which is a good movie.
Spoilers.
For the same reason that he chose Amleth to be the thing that he adapted to create a contrivance to have the ending of a Viking epic take place at a duel in a volcano. Well, because it's cool.
That's the thing, right? Then there was a reason for the volcano to be there, so somebody could have an epic duel there.
Yeah.
Right?
Well, no, he had a story to explain why he was filming an epic duel in a volcano. And the answer is there's probably going to be some fight at there. There's going to be some sort of...
Or it erupts. There's the other...
Or volcanic sacrifice.
Volcanic sacrifice, Joe in the volcano, it up, yeah. Or it's used for a, like, forging of a weapon. Because you could argue that that's where Lightbringer is going to be forged. In the volcano. And that's why Melisandre got sent there. She's like, I need to go to this island and meet the king, who's, going to be Azor Ahai and be a Lightbringer. That could all be true, and she just showed up way too early, right? Somebody else will go there and forge Lightbringer and be Azor Ahai. Also entirely possible.
Yeah, but that contradicts with my theory that I'm still working on about the friends we made along the way, but we'll put a pin in that.
That's fine.
Azor Ahai is the friends we made along the way.
Azor Ahai is the friends we made along the way.
I'm gonna put it right here. I like it a lot, actually.
Okay.
So maybe hold on. Pikachu. Fuck.
Skull.
How about there? What do you think of there? It's fine?
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's fine.
It's fine.
Okay.
Yeah, it is. I like it a lot. And I believe it more than that would suggest, but we're going to have a lot of room.
Yeah.
There it is.
Do you want to keep going?
Fucking Jesus Christ. No.
It's almost already 11, and we're not halfway done.
We can turn this into 2 pieces of content, baby!
Yep.
But what will the fans want?
This is already how long?
Because I love it when my podcasts end up being many, many, many hours of just mostly digressions and dicking around in bits. I say this legitimately.
Some people certainly like that.
This is at 2 hours and 40 minutes. I'm cutting it here.
Damn.
We are past feature length. Like,
Granted, 10 minutes of my apology of 4, I'm not going to this time have to be cut out.
we did make some jokes that needed a button press.
Zach, what's your favorite theory?
Of the ones we've talked about so
Yeah.
far, show me the screen.
Yeah.
It's that whole top right corner is all stuff
There's
I really
a
do
lot
like.
of great stuff up there.
To make sure that you get credit for one of your best theories, I think Snowed In could actually be bumped up a little bit now that I see it in the context of other things. It's a very good theory.
Pretty good.
But I think we
Yeah.
can save that for when we do the rest to like sort things out once we have everything on the table.
Yeah. Man, the red door theory is just too good. It's too fucking good, dude.
I was having a good day.
Pacific Rim theory, because that means that Robin Giovanni gets to implement more music.
Yeah. All right.
The Robin Giovanni soundtrack goes from this Game of Thrones work to suddenly Tom Morello's on ceiling, and they're doing the opening scroll from Pacific Rim.
Did you text me that cut the blank jokes thing? Because I'm going to get a very fun visit from the FBI. It even has time
But
zone.
let me.
Whoops. Zach, did you say?
Cut the blank joke.
Okay. Thank you guys for joining me, and thank you for watching this ridiculous, stupid nonsense. We have 1,000 subscribers now, which is stupid and bad.
No, it's not bad.
But thank you.
It's a good thing for everybody who wants to watch our content, which is at least
Yeah.
1,000 people.
And we'll see you guys for a Q&A pretty soon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the rest of this video. maybe.
Yeah.
Pretty
Do we need to like plug where we find us?
Yeah, please.
I'm trying to think, because
You can just
during-
say,
you know,
I don't
during
exist,
the-
don't find me.
During one
I
of the
do
intros,
exist.
you did say, fuck off, you're going to have to find me.
I didn't say fuck off, I said you're going to have to fucking work for it and find me yourself. I do have a podcast. I'm not going to tell you the name. You'll have to find it.
Okay.
You can find me at Zach from the club. Maybe I'll have more than one history video out at some point in the future. Right now, it's just one. Maybe it won't even be a history video. There's other things I want to talk
Oh
about.
my god.
But
You can find me here.
you can also find me here for every episode, unless Tom's reading a book, which he hasn't done in a while.
Say that for the second channel.
We'll say that for the second channel. You can also find me at the second channel, which is boop in the description.
Oh! It worked! Oh my god, you can also find a link in the description to the fully edited version of one of our Lost episodes.
Yeah, it'll be there.
Also, you will be able to find me when I post the videos of me hunting Zach for sport.
Oh, thank God. I thought you were going to say you'll be able to look in the description for a new episode of the Scruffy Ruffians. Oh, thank God you didn't say that.
yeah, you should also check the link in the description for the new episode of Scruffy Ruffians.
You can also go to the SCP Wiki and look up the article that I mentioned and find out who I am.
You can also find me commenting on occasion in the Tom Grossi football channel.
That's true. You can also find my meme mashup channel if you know.
If you know my full legal name.
That's not my full legal name. My full legal name isn't DJ.
You can also find me at the specific coordinates I'll be pasting in the link below.
Yeah,
Down to
as well as my IP address and social security number. There to make things easier.
You can also find me outside your window, to your right.
Left, one of those directions. Maybe right in front of you. Or behind you, that'd be creepy.